$5,000. Cash payment to anyone who can prove that what lying son of a devil Farrakhan is preaching is consistent with the lessons, supreme wisdom, of Master Fard Muhammad Elijah Muhammad's representation of his teacher Master Fard's teachings.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Hold on, got a camera problem. 1 second here. Solve this real quick. Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Suleiman Rahim here. That's the covenant, breaking 7 seals. Okay, brothers and sisters, as promised, part 2, apocalypse. Brothers and sisters, I know you don't understand. I know you don't, because the scripture says you don't understand. You would understand to really fire hit you. The 4 winds blow. If anyone understand the 4 winds, they also fire. You're not going to stand the fire hit you. Because for some of you, it's just an act of faith. Some of you just, well, we'll see. But you don't. If I had the attitude, I wouldn't be where I wouldn't have gained the knowledge I've gained. Because I have an idea. I initially had an idea about what it, well, I had a start. So I had those visions when I was a child, and I didn't like them. They were terrible, some of them. And I know it's going to be much even worse than that. So that's some idea, but you have no idea. And when you see it, you realize you have no idea. That's why you be fleeing in panic, because you wasn't prepared. That's what it's telling you. See, you don't pay attention to these things. Why are you fleeing in panic? Because you wasn't prepared. You're not prepared. That's why you're fleeing in panic. You didn't accept it. You didn't believe it. You didn't understand it. So you wasn't prepared. If you were prepared, if you understood it, you're prepared. If your house is going to be on fire, right, then you make sure that you had a fire escape and everything, So you can't tell me you understand, because you don't. And it's too monstrous to contemplate. And too much for most of you to understand. It's like Holocaust. See, we've experienced that, but most of you don't even understand the impact of that. Because if you did, you'd be acting like you're acting now if you understood even the history of what we went through. If you understood that, because you don't understand even that. You understand history we went through, because we wouldn't be acting like we're acting now towards these people if we understood what happened to us, they did to us. There's no way. Most of us got our heads firmly stuck up their asses. There's no way, if you understood the Holocaust, that you would react to them as you do. There's no way. Absolutely not. Unless you're a demon. You would. So you understand what happened in the past, and what's going to happen in the future is even far worse than that. Try to make things simple for you. So when you look at that, you say, maybe you agree, maybe you don't. I tell you, okay, let's look at a couple of things. I don't want to get too far into this, because I won't be part 2 again, because there's so many things to talk about, brothers and sisters. When I tell you that we're going from the winter into the spring, Then there's going to be a transition period, and you should be on board with that transition period, because that transition period, I mean, you don't go from the winter directly into the summer. You got to go to the spring. You got to warm up, because the spring is a transition between the winter and, it's not as hot as the summer, but it's not cold as the winter. And it gets hotter and hotter. Initially, the first day of spring, maybe even cool, and get until it gets, right, July, June, July, right? But if you understand that, most of you don't, that means what's happening right now, we're in a transition period. They say global warming. Oh, well, for the winter people, that's bad news. But for you, most of you, you thought I was against you too. And you look at AI and all those things, yes, the AI is going to destroy their whole economic system. Because it's not for them, it's for us. See, all these things in the embryonic, we're in the embryonic stage of the reactor. In the embryonic stage, you got to go to first conceive, then you go to embryonic stage, then you birth, born. Embryonic stage, right? You lock down and docked in the womb. So you take somebody from 1,000, 1,500 years ago, doing probably how much time? They were so enlightened back there, right? So you put them right here today. You had to put them up in a cage somewhere. They would have no idea what's going on. I don't care how smart they were. I don't care how wise they were 1,500 years ago. They would have no idea what to do. They could not function here. They could not function. And some of you can't even function here right now. You're here. You don't know how to understand. You can't understand this level of technology. And Matt Muhammad didn't come with a flying carpet. He come with technology. Superior technology. So if you can't understand 5 plus 5 equals 10, how the hell are you going to understand what 5 times 5 equals? That's why it says everlasting shame and department, because they make it, right? But they didn't go to the gym. And so therefore they ignorant, stupid. If you're going to laugh at them, they're not going to be allowed to be around the people. Because like having a gorilla run around or monkey run around amongst people, you won't do that. Put them in a cage. You think this is a fucking joke? It's not. It's not. And you have to learn the hard way. I'm not accusing you of being sinful. What I'm telling you is that it's my job to wake you up, not to condemn you, not to push you back like that clown Farrakhan does. How you wake somebody, you gotta shake them. If they really sleep hard, you gotta sleep hard. But 4 winds. Because you gotta come out of your slumber. Because we're going to what super technology, greater technology that you can even imagine. This is it. We're moving towards it. That's what. Look, when's all this stuff? They had this stuff 6,000 years. They had control, and then they were still horse and buggy. They didn't have any horse and buggy. There was a horse and bow and arrows. They didn't have bow and arrows for a long time. They had basically rocks or stones, and then they got spears, and bow and arrows, and horses. But anything like this, this stuff comes to sweep in here. This transition period. We're moving to technology. And you understand this level. You can't understand the kindergarten level of it. That's why it's against them. This AI is against them. It will destroy capitalism. You don't need people anymore, so we need capitalism for any. They destroy it. Destroy the whole reality. All this electronics and stuff destroys the whole notion of democracy. And I mean, how can you have a democracy? There can be no secrets. I mean, how can you have people informed, have to vote based on informed, but they can't have no information to inform with? So, if it's a true democracy, you don't have secrets. Secrets is a way of not controlling the people again. You're controlling the information, but they don't understand that away. There's no democracy in America. They get the information they want them to give them. So they tell them certain things, and they operate a certain way because that's the information they're given. This new world is coming. It's destroying. The spring is destroying the winter, and you can't identify because you've been stuck in winter so long. You can't understand. You can't identify the signs of the spring. You can identify the signs of spring. And so some of you hold on to the winter instead of elevating because, hey, you got to understand how cell phones work. You got to understand how all these things happen, what's going on, because that's embryonic technology of where we're going. We're going to build on that. That stuff is coming from us. It's not coming from them. It's coming 6,000 years. Like I said, all of a sudden, because the new world's coming in. That's the spring. That's sign of spring coming in. Like Daniel said, knowledge will be increased. With knowledge, if this is evidence of knowledge being increased, do we want more knowledge? And you ain't trying to understand the basics of it here. NBA, NFL, right? Walking around trying to act like you're a Muslim, look like a Muslim. I don't give a damn about you a Muslim or not. We understand it. Everybody's a Muslim. But everybody's in submission to the will of Allah. Even the devil is in submission to us. They don't know it. We set this whole thing up and for them to do a certain purpose. I try to explain to you. I shouldn't even say it that way because I know, oh boy, I can see them going off on that one. Who put Adam in charge? We did. We made Adam. So he wasn't doing our will, making men shed blood? Putting us in the bind for 4. How you create a diamond? You put it under pressure. They was doing our will. You say, oh, well, the jinn wasn't doing our will. Yes, they were. What did jinn say? They're going to oppose Adam. Didn't they say they're going to do that? Really? Well, how did they make Adam Adam? The opposition. They put that pressure on Adam for 1,000 years and made Adam stronger. See, I don't want to. I shouldn't get into this because see, I get into stuff and you don't have understand. It just blows you away because you got this weird idea the devils gave you, this frozen idea of how the world works. I'm done. Everything does. I was. The Quran tells you that everything is submission to the will of Allah. Doesn't it say that? That means Satan is too. He's doing our will. So is Adam. You just got to understand it. If you got a lot of shit in your house, well, if you get a whole bunch of flies, let's fill a house of flies. They eat all that shit up. But then we do the flies. You kill the flies. Why flies doing your will? It's best you understand. That's why I say I have to be careful what I say, brothers and sisters, because I look at the level and I see you don't understand anything. It's not your fault. It's only your fault if you maintain that situation. I ain't telling you to get out there and you start praying. I know. I'm just telling you, getting information. You got to elevate because that's new world's come in. You got to transition to the spring. You're going to hold on this winter stuff, this cold. When it's cold, right? I mean, slows down, slows your brain down. Cold slows things down. Your brain is frozen right now. You got to throw it out. You got to do it. I can't do it for you. That's what I'm trying to warn you to. You have to do it for you. And it's not easy. You got to throw your brain out. I tell you, it's not even a knowledge, it's the way that things work. Everything is in us in submission. We use everything for our purpose. Everything's submission to us. If it wasn't, they'd be gods, wouldn't they? Everything in submission to us. Everything's doing our will. Like I said, we control the quality of the universe. We don't control the quantity. So therefore, we use the quality, right, to make things happen like we want it to happen within the confines of the quantity. We can't control that. Universe opening, closing. We cannot stop that. We cannot start it. We cannot stop it. So we can control the quality of it. And so we do things. So we have to go to energy deprivation. So, well, we got to suffer anyway. So how do we make it work for us? So not just to go on, just, okay, not just go under pressure, go in a certain way. Then we come out better than we were before. You got to suffer, so make benefit from it. Couldn't stop it. Couldn't stop energy deprivation. I mean, there's ways we could have done things, but that would have been enough something. Well, that's no story together. I told you, Injil is the gym to get you into spring. If you don't master it, then when you get the spring comes, if you make it, right? But that's shame and appallment. I just tell you that. See, some people think, oh man, when I get to heaven, I'm just gonna lay around. What's heaven? They got the crazy idea. I'm just lay around and so angels gonna bring you food. Where they gonna get the food from? Well, they're gonna work for you now. Crazy, stupid ideas. No, you got to get there. In other words, heaven is right here. If you can master, the devil's in heaven, they're losing it though, because when you master your reality, that's heaven. When you control your reality, energy, when you control your energy in heaven, we had no control of our energy through energy deprivation. That was there, so it was in hell. But now we had the control it to a limited extent because we don't have that much, but we control it. So that puts you into on this road to heaven, paradise, self-sufficiency. Elijah Muhammad put you on that path, and Farrakhan took it away. Then complain, oh, worms eat your ass. The devils were in heaven because they were controlling their energy. Did they die and go to heaven? Did they die and go to heaven? They had it right here because they were controlling, and they lose control of it. That's why they're so desperate. They lose control because other people are taking control of it. That means they'd be in hell. The only way you control it, this is how you control it. My camera's going again. Oh. They work me, Bill, says you'd be surprised. They're trying to give me a stroke. I know what's going on. I tell you so much. I don't even want to talk about it. The stuff that be going on in my life. Oh, it's not overcoming me. It's just I know they're trying to frustrate me. Anyway, that's another story. So let me talk about something else and move right into the presentation, brothers and sisters. So it's just transition. There's no if, and buts about it. That's why I should try to explain to you in the simplest way. Oh, well, I'm not sure. Well, we moved from winter to spring, transition. And all these things you see, all this technology, they didn't have this before. They did nothing like it. It wasn't even they couldn't even imagine this 200 years ago. Nothing like this. It's taking a hold of us all of a sudden. Why? Because we started to throw out. This is our reality coming in. And it's against them. This stuff. What is all this reality? What is all this stuff done for them? They're about to destroy the world. All the stuff they got, they can't control it. The world, atomic bombs and super planes, because all this is against them. This technology, they afraid now. Oh man, it's gonna be a World War III. Why? Because now they got the technology to do it. How do they get that technology? And we go way beyond that. I mean, this stuff that they have right here, their computers, is like, compared to what we have is like a kite compared to a 747. Like a kite. This is nothing. See, I've been giving hints all for years. We got a computer. We need a computer. We need a computer to do two things: look forward in time, and also to navigate through the universe, traveling 24 billion miles per second. You need a computer to do that. You can't just do it. Anything you hit, you destroy it. But you need a computer. I come up with some ideas. No, compared to our computer's little computer they get right now, like a peanut compared to a computer. It's like, but warming up. And that's if you can't deal with the computers here, how the hell you think you're going to deal with the ones there? You can't deal with technology here, which is infantile. How do you think you could deal with technology there? Or you think, oh, I get there, I'm going to do it then? No, it's not going to work that way. Not work. Elijah Muhammad said, he got your hints right here. He said you have to go to school 20 years as soon as you get to hereafter just to be able to read it. I said Message Black Man. He said you have to go 20 years. I believe it's a Message Black Man. I haven't read it in a long time. I'm pretty sure it's there. I know he read it, said it. You have to go to school 20 years. To qualify to even be there. 20 years. 20 years. So what do you think you'll be learning? Okay. I got this camera problem. I don't know. I'm going to have to stop and start again. They really they're trying me. Hold on, brothers and sisters.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
They would be violent in the metaverse. This is just one of the Chinese torture. When they go and they mess my system, they change stuff around. Sometimes I go into something because they change something. It's not change. They do it. If they irritate me enough, I have a stroke or something. If I tell you what's going on the last few days, you wouldn't believe it. What I was saying, I believe what I was saying was the transition. 20 years of education is being qualified to even be there. 20 years. That's even if you qualify even get that education. Okay, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. Like I said, I better go ahead because I won't get to part two. It's in my camera still. Okay, so, I'm going to talk a couple of things I'm going to get into.
Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Like I was saying, brothers and sisters, see these folks right here? If they make it, everlasting shame upon them. Because some of them are just out cold demons, winter people, and some of them are just holding on to the winter. They get frostbite. That's the case. And there'll be, spring has no pity on the winter. I mean, all this ideas you have pity and morality and all that kind of stuff. That was taught you that. What's their morality? They teach morality. What is their morality? Rape, murder, genocide? It's all bullshit. It's mathematics. It's mathematics. Period. Was there what would you think was operating? And my camera goes again. Okay, brothers. Hold on, let me check something here. Oh boy. It's comical. It is. Hold on. I'll just go without a camera. It takes me hours to put these together, and then I have to fight with this camera nonsense. Hold on. Try it again. So these folks here, the winter people, like I said, spring has no mercy. It's mathematics, brothers and sisters. See, they tell you this idea about Jesus and God and all that kind of stuff. But read the scripture. You read about Amalek. That's God telling him, have no pity, none whatsoever. The command, have no pity on their children, nothing. So God's cold. No, he's mathematical. What is Elijah Muhammad tell you? Islam is mathematics, Islam. They have no idea what mathematics will apply to them. What's the mathematics we apply? Mathematics they created, consequence. What's happening to them is what they did to themselves. That's morality. Nothing going to happen to them no more than what they did to themselves. So I'm not guilty if they get crushed. Grievous chastisement. They put down themselves. Doing them double is done to you. Are we immoral for doing that? That's being done to them what they did to us. That's not immorality. That's truth. And God is truth. God's consequence. That's morality. If you do to them as they've done to you, right? What you're doing to them is what they did to themselves. So when they get crushed and burned, whatever, they did it to themselves. They was the one immoral when they was doing it to us. So they getting the consequence of what they did to us. Oh, I can't do that to them. Okay, well then, that's your business. That's going to stop the consequence. So, like I said, it'd be most grievous chastisement. And who they did? They themselves. In our hands, okay, why not? Our hands, because they put it in our hands. They put their destruction in our hands by fucking with us for 500 years. So we just give them back what they gave to us. Here it is. Why you got a problem with that? Why you got a problem with giving you back what you give to us? That's what we're going to do. That's morality. Oh, we got to be Jesus. No, that's not mathematics. You take that mathematics, shove it in your ass. That's not mathematics. I give you $20. You give me $5 back. Where's my 20? Where's my? Oh, you got to forgive me. You forgive me. You forgive me. You forgive me the other $15. Okay. See how dumb that is? Try that in a real situation. Try in a real situation. See how it works for you. It sounds good theoretical. Oh, I'm a good person. Are you a good person? Okay, somebody takes and they breaks in your house. I forgive you. Okay, really, right? Instead of taking them out, stop them doing it, right? So you know what you did? You endangered the next person. But now they're going to do the same thing to somebody else. Whose fault is that? That's yours, because you could have stopped them, made them pay consequences for what they did right there. Then another person would say, but because you allowed that to go, you've forgiven everybody. That so-called American natives, oh, let them go. Next thing you know, they're all gone, ain't they? Because they wouldn't get to the next tribe, the next tribe, the next tribe. Come and teach you forgiveness, and they come and rape you, beat you, steal you, beat your children. Oh. Somebody run to a snake outside. You don't tell you there's a snake out there. Well, then they identify the devil, you say everybody's the devil. You take care of it. Otherwise, what did this lesson say? Otherwise, it stings someone else. Come on, brothers and sisters. Tell you. A new mind. Because right now, the mind you got is what the mind you have, what it's doing for you. What it's doing to our people. Is it working for you? Or is it working against you? It tells you right there something's wrong with it. It's not profiting you, is it? Is it giving everybody, helping you? You forgave your enemies, right? The enemy's stronger and they're kicking your ass, ain't they? Have they gotten better? Move on. Here we go. Here we go. This is sickening. All this stuff is sickening.
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is, you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor,
yes, sir,
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent. It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity. So I'm only one shade lighter than you, so. And Mustafa maybe 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
3. I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. 5. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold, therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury, it upheld me. 6. And I will tread down the people in mine anger, and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth.
It sounds like Ishmael there. That's the Messiah talking, the real Messiah. Their vengeance, not their mercy, not their forgiveness, their vengeance. You see? Their vengeance. And that clown we just saw, right? You know, the Catholic Church endorsed enslavement, Holocaust. Remember, Abraham was a vision of horror. Not a vision of pain, suffering, a vision of horror. 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 That's what we went through. Not enslavement. Look up slavery. And he said, oh, here, and the Catholic Church endorsed this. Well, look at, understand it. Capitalism is dead slavery by definition. The idea of they needed a name. Look it up. The name didn't even come up. The name was the name they used to really the concept of slavery. And national profit, men overhead. They didn't have the word even before that, before enslavement. Capitalism is enslavement by definition. And their Christianity was a justification for it. That Jesus is the one that cursed us black to do it, be slave forever. Fuck all that shit. See what I'm saying? That's what's going on here. See? And they got you totally involved in it. And that's the real Messiah talking there. What he's saying? He went, oh, that's my brother. And you know what the devil was saying? This dumbass nigga here. That's what he was saying. His mind, he's laughing. We got this nigga. Because why do you think he's there? He's an agent. He come here for that purpose. He's all over Farrakhan's kissing him. He's over Farrakhan. But you make you one of the, if he's doing Farrakhan's, you know, Farrakhan, he can't do nothing no more, right? So Farrakhan, you know, he can't do his wife no more. Put it that way, it's kind of gross, right? So we're going to do the nation now. We've been doing it for a while anyway. And the way they be so close together, I wonder what's going on with them, kissing in the mouth and everything else. Got pictures of it. And then people so far hit Farrakhan's ass. I mean, if you update Farrakhan's ass and you think that brown stuff is honey, hell, nothing Farrakhan can do to mess you up. And we don't want you. Want you over there. You stick over there with him. I know they hate me, but they won't come get that $5,000. And soon later on, get enough hair on their ass to come over here and try to do something. They do. That's gonna be who. You don't want to do that. Come on. I need some exercise. Whew. This is no time like ever been like this, brothers and sisters. Never been time like this before. And the truth is so clear. That means they show you who, because the light is so bright. The light comes on, the roaches, also you see the roaches, they run for cover. This stuff is so clear. So the devil said, oh man, these niggas here. Because he's a true follower of Jesus. Oh, I thought you were supposed to be a follower of Allah. I thought the Quran says, wait a minute, excuse me. I read somewhere in the Quran says, do I take Christians and Jews for friends? Oh, that'd be a misinterpretation. Didn't I read that in there somewhere? But you take them as a brother. And that's why these clowns, they're so pathetic. You could destroy them. All you gotta do is open your mouth and say ABC and they're dead. ABC will kill these fools. Their shit is so funky. Just say ABC. That's what you gotta do is ABC. And they run for cover. Because that truth, the A follows, B follows B, B follows A, C follows C. That truth, enough right there is enough story there. Because they can't get that one right. Oh, you mean B follows A, B, C follows B? Because if you just told them they can't get that right. All you gotta do is say that and they run for cover. That truth right there is enough story them. This shit is so weak. And those that are working have any idea the angel, just a little taste of angel knows that. Little taste of angel, and you never taste shit again. Nobody could ever fool you into thinking that shit is honey. Because those clowns with Farrakhan, all of them, every one of them thinks shit is honey. Farrakhan told us honey, they say he's just honey, and they chomping down on it. Give me another dose, give me another pint of it, another gallon of it. Because he told me that shit out of his ass is honey. They should have given us honey. I mean, look at it. All that philosophy, go close the gap, all that crap. They're eating that stuff up. And it's shit. They're eating it up. And it's shit. We ain't going nowhere. And the God says, we're going home. We ain't going nowhere. He's like, how much of your fools want to stay here? We ain't going nowhere. America be destroyed. No, we want to stay here. They can't be redeemed. They can't be reformed. They're 100% wicked. No, I love the devils. I don't want something to happen to them. I'm a judge. America destroyed. I don't want to happen to America. Pure shit, and they eat it up. He told them it's honey, and they eat it up. I don't want to come over here. They're so dumb, they be trying to stick their head up my ass. I don't want their head up my ass. Go chump down someplace else. All that dude is gross. Stick around. Stick around. You ain't seen nothing yet. I hope you think that. I really do. I hope you think that. Stay away from me. That'd be a mistake. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Because you see I'm fired up today. Oh, you ain't seen the rest of it. They're trying to give me a stroke. I'm just getting started. What's about to happen here? I'm trying to get you trying to get you to feel me. Because I'm telling you, boy, what's about to happen here? Suddenly. Let's talk about this apocalypse. I'm gonna talk about this and then get to my make sure okay, I got time. Let's talk about this. See here? This war in heaven. That's going to initiate all this. It's going to initiate Armageddon. Everybody's worried about it. Even the devils themselves. And these are top level devils. These aren't just devils that are right relative to this society. Sinners. That's what's about to happen. Michael is angels. Put Master Thomas' picture, he's in the background, but he's going to be, they're going to feel him. What the Quran says, are you starting to feel my presence? They never the Quran says, starting to feel our presence? Oh. He's getting ready to go to war. Ron's getting ready to go to war with him. And like I said, like I revealed yesterday, right? Ron's going to make the first move. I can tell you it's a pause, it's not a ceasefire. They was begging for a pause when Iran was kicking their ass, and now Iran is much stronger than it was before. And Iran's not sitting around like Saddam Hussein, which they build their forces up, come after them. They're going to make their move. Michael's angels went to war with the dragon and his angels, and they fought back. Dragon's angels fought back. It's be a bloodbath. So that bloodbath. Keep telling you, it's gonna be a blood. This earth's gonna be full of blood. It's a horse. The blood behind a horse's brow. If you understand Injil, you understand what that means. It'll be a bloodbath that you never seen before, brothers and sisters. And those who go to tribulation, you're gonna wade through blood. You're gonna be wading through blood. And if you got those if you got your pillars down, right, you won't be harmed by it, but you're gonna wave, so you're gonna. They say you wash your robes in the blood. Why use the word blood? The blood of the lamb. Why use the word blood there? You're gonna walk through blood, you're gonna wade through blood. This place will be bloodbath. But over in the Middle East, it'll be a blood flood. Blood flood. Blood's gonna flow. You've never seen before. You're gonna make World War I, World War II, right? Do like a little slap contest. It tells you the blood will be high as horse's brow. They come against Iran, they'll come back out like a whirlwind. Come back out like a whirlwind. Destruction will be off the page. That's what's about to happen. Ain't they now? Maybe while I'm talking. It will be soon. I'm counting that this year. Israel will be the first. Knocked out. Yeah. Crush Israel. Crush it. Put it on siege. That's what's motivating the whole thing, right? At least that's what people think. Really, America is behind this. The reason why they have that only because I explained that about the false sign that America set up to keep us deceived. Because we're the target. You're telling me we're the target of all this, but you don't see yourself in it. That's by design. You don't understand. You're the target of all that's going on in the world right now. You are the target. Target. House of Saudi Arabia. They're paying Farrakhan to stop you from talking that shit about I'm going back to Arabia. That's why they're not talking about it. Even though it's right there in the scripture and clearly you're going back home after 40 years between the river Euphrates and the river Egypt. And you look on the map, that's Arabia, and who is talking about it? Nobody. No one. It's clear. They already know everything. Oh, I'm the Son of Man. I'm the Jesus. I'm the Christ. I'm the Messiah. Right? See? Oh man, I'm so great, man. You know, I got gold coming out of my ass. See there? Stylist. That dude could cry. Every time I see him, he's crying about something. And none of them mentioned it's right there. That's the essence I talked about. Because who's supposed to present that? That's the covenant. So if you have a covenant, you're the measure of the covenant. They don't talk about him either, do they? What's going on with your people? Trying to stop the spring. Because the covenant is the spring. See? That's what the spring looks like. See, in the winter, you get pictures of the spring, right? But if you never seen pictures of spring, you don't know there's going to be a spring, right? A lot of times gave you pictures of spring. Oh, man, it's like that. I want to go there. It's like that. Then Farrakhan took it away. Oh, shut it up, man. That's bullshit. That's all he says the winner. So he's trying to make the best of the winner. You hold on to the winner. Anybody try to mess the winner up with me? Finally got me igloo, man. Finally got me some heat. Finally got me a chimney. You gonna hold on to that, man, because it's cold as hell. Because you don't know anything about any spring. You don't think about anything warming up. They took that picture. What's that? They took it away. So that's why they're talking about that. They were talking about make him the winner. Every one of them. Because the winner people, or they stuck, they're totally frozen. When you're totally frozen, that means your nature's gone too. That's another story. I was talking about transition between the fall to winter, but I'm not going there right now. No, I'm not going into it. I get distracted here. Anyway, the problem is, see, if you freeze something through, some of us, when the winter came, some of us got totally frozen inside and out. So we basically winter people. Some of us, right, we got what they call that, not when you're totally frozen, but what's that? I forget what they call it. See, we got really cold, slush. Some of us turned to slush, really cold. We're not frozen. When spring comes, we're still out. I'm gonna leave that alone. That's a little complicated. I'm getting up. Let's stay where here we are right now. So you took the vision away, took the spring vision away, so you don't know anything about any spring. And then I tell you anything about any spring. Therefore, you're going to do what? You're going to try to do the best here in the winter. You're going to help the winter people try to maintain the winter. Because, man, you finally got your little igloo, you finally got your little stove, you finally got your little oven, you finally got a little chimney, you finally got some wood for your wood stove. Why are you going to get up? What are you going to get up for? It's the winter, man. You got to get on that job, man. Make sure you keep that stuff going. Stay warm. Because it's going to be warm. It's going to be winter forever. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know that spring coming. Until spring coming. You start preparing for the spring. Come saying, no spring coming. You see what he's saying? He said, you're not going anywhere. But stay here with here. Stay here in the winter because he's a winter person himself. And so you don't have a vision. If you had a vision of spring, oh man, you be getting ready for that spring. You be building stuff for the winter, getting ready for the spring. But man, oh man, it's gonna be like that. So here, that's the first, because they the sign, right, to take us away of this joy, spring, idea of spring for us. Well, his rules, I destroy the idea of spring. Because they're the ones going to inherit it, not us. We stuck here in the winter. We stuck here in the winter. Say, well, I thought you said no. They say what they don't have that. Right? They're not the spring either. They're winter. Right? They tell you, right, that you're right. They said, well, let me put it this way. Elijah said about the spring, right? Okay. Take a picture away. Right. Okay. So he give you another picture. Oh, that's the picture Elijah was showing you. See? You know, spring. Spring is the same as winter. It's just you got a bigger house. Still winter. They're still winter people. They say, oh, you could do better in the winter. So you got a big house like your house in the winter. That's what false Israel does for you. So it distorts the whole vision. The vision don't belong to you, but still not telling you spring. You understand? It's a little tricky there. Because you say, well, I thought you said It's the way for the spring. Spring, that's still a vision, but it still belongs to them. But they can't get vision of spring because they're not spring people either. They just tell you a better winner, a nicer winner. So if you be good, be a good nigga, see, then you live like, you got your little igloo where they got ice cows and stuff. You understand what I'm saying? Plus, a little trick. I didn't want to go there, but sometimes I have to, because some people say, well, hey, I don't double talk. You understand? Because he's not giving you a sign. They're not saying that's the spring, because that's the case. Then you still know about the spring, wouldn't you? You still want that for yourself, wouldn't you? Are they representing the spring? They still represent the winter. They just represent better winter, nicer winter, more comfortable winter, more stoves, more heat, more wood. You understand? I don't want to get too much complication about it, so I'm gonna keep it simple. But yes, it do. Because they're the source over there. Remember, they're not the source for all this. The source, these are the devils, but they set them up. But they are Satan. That's well, let me move on. I will keep this simple. But that's right there. Take them out first. Directly between them two. So when they take them out, they're gone. So now the idea of a American dream that they have with them. That they have with them. See? And so we're not them. And so now it's easy for you to accept the new mind, the vision that Mr. Cutler would give you. Spring. Now that you ain't got to wait for it anymore. You got spring vision. And they're going. They're blocking it. They divert you to the American dream. The American dream is based on them. Because aren't they the most successful? It's Abraham's covenant, Abraham's people. So if you're Abraham's people, you be rich like them. You say Abraham, you be rich like them. See what I'm saying? Look how rich and powerful they are. That's still American dream. That's still winter, isn't it? When they go, they couldn't do it. If we did, they go because we're trying to be like them. That's what Farrakhan's telling you. You understand? And that's why, because then going down themselves, it's not itself. It's going to, you have to be giving your mind back. What it is, what's blocking your, let's put it this way, what's blocking your mind is gone. And now you can receive through a vision. Because then somebody had to give you it. If that was just knocking them down, that would have been it. They're blocking, distracting you from a true vision. They say, oh, look at them. They the one got the vision. So, if you are choose amen, okay, put it this way. I shouldn't be bogged down. Just take a good example, take these so-called Hebrew Israelites. They claim them, right? They just want to be like them. They ain't talking about going back to Arabia. They ain't talking about any of that stuff. See what I'm saying? They didn't be like them. They think it's that, like, see what I'm saying? Well, winter people. You understand, brothers and sisters? Where they going? Bloodbath. Knock them out. That's what's Matchhammer knocked them out. That's the source of your distorted vision. Now you can receive the true vision. What's next? Maybe he's warning all of them. Then there's the bloodbath between the Shia and the Sunni. Then the Sunni. Remember, the Arabs are Shia also. The bloodbath between the Shia and the Sunni. Led by the House of Saud. First of all, Palestine is going to be soaked. It's going to be a river of blood in Palestine. The oceans of blood in the sands of Arabia between the Shia and Sunni. Dragon is angels. They put dragon up front. mean, that's the bigger war. That's bigger than why I say dragons, angels, because that's the bigger war. They're gonna fight like hell. Israel, once their nuclear capacity is neutralized by Master Muhammad, not gonna take much. Iran's gonna knock them out. Their strength, their so-called strength, their so-called nuclear powers, that's gonna be neutralized. But the real war over there, that's what I say, dragons, angels, that's gonna be now. Look at religious war between the Shia and Sunni. Could be a ocean of blood. This man's gonna be soaked with blood. Soaked with blood. Be so vicious. Remember these people, these that be blow themselves up and all kind of stuff? I think as soon as they were thinking they protecting Allah and Arabia and all that stuff, they're the gent. They don't get any help. Allah is with Iran, Syria, the bloodbath. Not only that, but the females of the Sunni, that's no story either. They weren't looking at that. They weren't suspecting that one. And all the Sunni now, because the Egyptian Sunni is going to side with Iran. The Muslim Gulf states, because the Egyptian Sunni, they're going to attack false Israel from the rear. They go to West West false Israel going like that, bam. He said, I saw lightning, I saw Satan fall from heaven like a lightning bolt. Went down fast, front behind. So Satan fall from heaven like a lightning bolt. But the bloodbath is going to be between the Sunni and Shia. Arabia, Gulf states. Right? Egypt will be on the side of Iran against false Israel. There may be some Sunni involved from Egypt, but primarily Gulf states. Sands of the Middle East will be soaked in blood. Soaked. Then, boom. When the false Israel down, Arabia's on the ropes. Right? Magog. They're trying to hold on. Air Force already destroyed. His word for Air Force was destroyed before our system went down by Master Muhammad. So now that's their basis. They're trying to support. It's still Sunni. Magog. It's not going to be a major battle there. It's already right. It's trying to survive. Actually, they're not fighting an offensive war. They're fighting a defensive war. Because after Israel goes down, after Sunnis go down, they're under attack. There's no one to protect them, to help them. All the Sunnis gone. They're broken. Power of the heavens. Right? The power of the holy people is broken. The power of heaven is shaken. They're fighting just to survive. On their way out of there. They're running out of there. We're going to hit them hard. But that's what he said. When they go to war, they're going to take out false Israel, then they're going to attack the American bases. Put them on fire. There's going to be a lot of blood there. Great deal of blood. And they running out of there. Gog and Magog. At least that's what powers of heaven be shaken. It says these things wouldn't happen until American power of holy people It tells you what. It says, you see, Jerusalem armies, it's destruction. Okay, that's one response. Destruction is not. Then it says, this will come to power, bring the power of holy people. That's assuming. It's telling you right there. As you put these things together, then God can make God thrown out. It's said all the time. It's right there. That's what you're going to see in the next few days, Bill. It says this year. I thought it was this month. Maybe this month ain't over yet. But you definitely will see it this year. Which is October. We're October, right? Yeah, wow. Any minute now, brothers and sisters. I miscalculated that bad. Ooh, maybe I need to go back to school. We know everything is right there right now. Everything is in place. Everything is in place. Come on. Okay, let me run past this real quick, brothers and sisters. You feel, because see, the thing is, that's why you know those people are lost. Because they gave the book Exodus, gave the name Exodus. Exodus means leave. It don't mean anything, but they tell you Exodus is our history. They tell you that. Well, Israel said, no, we've never been enslaved by anybody. They said last Sunday, right? Exodus is our history. So why don't they follow Exodus? If they follow Exodus, they could not go wrong. If you just do what Exodus tells you to do, you cannot go wrong. If you don't have to listen to Injil, if you do what Exodus tells you, you cannot go wrong. They don't follow Exodus. They stop to a point, they don't follow it. Because Exodus is so clear about what's happening right now. Let's go through it quickly. The God will come. He'll come with power. That's how he's a God. The technology that can destroy this technology, this whole reality. That's how you know if he didn't have that, then he would just be somebody that came here, a prophet or a messenger, something coming with some information. But he came with power. God. That's what it says. God will come. Some places call it angel of the Lord. That's interesting. I'm not going into that right now. And then he raised a messenger. Wow. They agree with that part. He would teach the messenger. Then he'd depart, lead the messenger. The messenger stayed in battle for some years. But the messenger said, wait a minute, I can't speak too well. So that was Elijah's case. I mean, this is right there. And they said the messenger's name would be Elijah. Come on, how can you miss any of this? You're going to Malachi, that's the name, that's his birth name. I need a spokesman. And God said, no, you don't need a spokesman. He resisted it. So when Farrakhan told me he's anointed, he's a goddamn lie. Read it. He says, no, you don't need, so I got you. You don't need no spokesman. He was against it. He got physically angry with Elijah for asking for it. But Elijah kept on persisting, so he said, okay, I'll give you one. And so here he comes, the mouth. That's exactly what happened. That's history. You can easily trace that down. They didn't even believe that. Even these lies over here with Farrakhan, they say that's right. They would tell you that's exactly right. Exactly, except the point they told me to anoint it. Other than that, they tell you that's exactly right. Exactly. Nope. If it answers the buts about it, they'll say that. But then it stopped right there. Being part of the book and disciplining the other, it stopped right there. Because what happens from that point on? Right? It says, what happened when Elijah departed? This clown reveals himself as a hypocrite, a liar, a thief, a murderer. Oh, you say murder? Okay. I'm bringing up on that one of these days. Right? Thief, liar, pimp, coward, deceive the people, blame the people, accuse the people. He got all these people that followed him killed. That's what Exodus says. And he died in the wilderness itself. Then makes the promised land. Didn't miss that part. They stopped right there, right just before while he was with Elijah. But once Elijah departed, in his history, they stopped right there. And it's right there. And he's doing exactly what they said he would do. He's doing exactly what Aaron, they said Aaron would do. He's Aaron. He's doing exactly what they said he would do. But they stopped right there. So what's going on there? People, agents. You can't go wrong with that, brothers and sisters. They can argue. That's why I don't come get that $5,000, because that's exactly the case. And he did exactly, Farrakhan done exactly what This Aaron would do. Exactly. Not complicated. So he said, well, how did he deceive then? He said, those who love not the truth. God give them more deception. So he said, oh, you don't love the truth, so God's going to send, he's going to come in and spank them and say, come on, baby. I know you got you mixed up. Let me help you out. Send them angels over there and straighten them out, wash them up, tell them, no, it ain't what God does. You want truth? Kick his ass. Give him more lies. He want to eat pork? Give him some pig feet. Give him pears. Give him the shillings. Give him more of it. That's what God said. Look at Thessalonians. They don't want truth. Give more delusions. You that shit. He come out, God love. Yeah. Well, oh. So he made you. He created you. You didn't do it yourself. Oh, he gave you free will. That's bullshit. Show me the crime in the Bible where God gave anybody free will. That's shit they made up. And plus, if he gave you free will, didn't he create the free will he gave you? So that means that if the free will ain't working, it means that's his fault too, ain't it? Know how you cut it. Your creation is God's fault based on what you say. So, damn, you fucked up, boy. I'll burn your ass up because, wait a minute, holy shit, you made me. I don't give a goddamn. Put the asshole in fire and burn forever. Yeah, but you made me. I didn't. Yeah, well, I don't give a damn. You ain't right. I'm gonna burn your ass. Yeah, but it's your fault. You gonna blame me for making you? Well, you didn't make. See? Burn the ass up. Talk about. That shit make any damn sense to you? If that's what God is, we all in trouble. We might just bend over and shove a damn floor by ass and turn around. If that's what God is. God is love. Bullshit. That's not it. That's not the way it works. That's what people do in Noah's time. When he drowned all the world except people in the ark. What about little babies? What about the pregnant ones? Little babies just born. They ain't doing anything wrong. He drowned their ass. What did they do wrong? What sin they make? You have no idea what's going on. Right? You kill baby roaches, don't you? You want me to go up to big roach? Oh, you little baby roach. You don't work. But see, they stop right there. They stop right there. They stop right there with him while he's with Elijah. But what happened done without Elijah? 40 years out Elijah. What Malachi says, there's 4 people in Malachi too. The God, the messenger of the covenant. Well, they never taught a messenger of the covenant. Never taught a messenger of the covenant. They never taught like Joshua either. I'll tell you that in a minute. Never taught why. And then there's a 4th one who's robbing the nation, who's cursed with a curse. What do you think? At 55, been diagnosed with cancer, they blow your ass up, and now you walk around eunuch, pissing shit in the back for the rest of your life. Is that not a curse? You follow Exodus, you can't go wrong. So that's why they have no excuse. So it's easy to identify them and get rid of them. Then what happened? Now remember, they don't, this is what Exodus says. He wasn't anointed. That's a lie right there, because God was against him. Then comes the message of the covenant. You break the seals, and the covenant is to go back to Arabia. And that's what happened. He said he would be a follower of Elijah. He said suddenly come to Elijah's temple. He'd be on the sidelines doing Aaron's rule. Then the torch we passed from Moses or Elijah to the messenger of the covenant. Bypass Aaron. Said he passed it from Moses to Joshua. Why didn't Aaron get it? That's simple. That's not complicated. That's exactly what Exodus and Malachi says. That's not the birds you get from them. So you can remember, this is against the devil. The devil don't want you to know about Joshua, because Joshua was to bring down their kingdom. He's the one that established a new kingdom. No, he established the kingdom. Then he gives it to Master Muhammad. He's the Ancient of Days, and says the one coming to the clouds of heaven that's going to rule the God, but it's Ancient of Days. Give him the kingdom. They don't want you to know who he is. So now what are they telling you now? What's their version of Exodus? See? They have his son came to destroy everything. Elijah was no good. He had to Destroyed the whole idea of Elijah. And that's what Wallace did. Destroy the whole idea of Elijah. Destroy everything. His Nation of Islam, the name, everything. And then you have to have the government, right? Deny the UFOs, that's a hoax. It's not real. That means if that's true, the God has no power. So he's not God, is he? See what I'm saying? So destroy the idea of the messenger and the idea of the God who's the messenger of. That's what that's all about. So if you don't believe in UFOs, then what's the point of believing in Master Muhammad? What can he do? Nothing. Without that will, he's nothing. Elijah Muhammad was, according to them, if Farrakhan was standing aside, he wasn't no messenger. And that's what he said. He said, yeah, and that they denied both Elijah Muhammad and them. That's what Wallace did. He denied both of them. Ain't no will, ain't no mother plane, Elijah wasn't a messenger, and Master Muhammad was a trickster. Denied the whole thing. They destroyed the whole idea, the whole vision, the whole hope. That's what exactly happened. They said their objective was either take control of the Nation of Islam or destroy it. It's there. They must have control of it. Then what? And then Farrakhan's he's the Messiah now. Doesn't matter, he's pissing shit in the bag, can't wipe his own ass. I heard that they gotta watch him because he's shitting and pissing in the bag, and suddenly he get hungry, and suddenly he think that something in the bag is food. Yeah. He's pathetic, he's messed up, really messed up. He messed up, they gotta watch him. He messed up, really messed up. They try to think, oh, he's the Messiah. Messiah what? Can't wipe his own ass. But that's what they tell you now. He's the Messiah. And Elijah Muhammad's a Mahdi. They go, oh, all shit's coming out now. They're saying all this stuff now. Why? Then what? Now, he remember says he'll come a healing in his wings, right? Healing in his wings. You know what they call that healing? This is what they call it healing. Scientology. That's what they talk about over here. Oh, Scientology saved me. It get me straight. I got my mind straight back now. Scientology. That's their version of the shit. That's their version. That's what they got set up. That's how nothing. So why Elijah? They use Elijah as a bait. That's how much bait to suck you in. But you get there and you tell me when you get there, get the $5,000. Show me that teacher Elijah Muhammad's teaching when you get there. After they get you there, tell me they show. Tell me. If you get $5,000, you prove me that he's really teaching that Elijah Muhammad's teaching. And then following Elijah Muhammad's teaching. Show me you get $5,000. That's the case there. So your healing is from L. Ron Hubbard Scientology. Exactly what's going on. And again, your Sunnism, Muhammad told us stay away from that. He wouldn't allow them to even come to his temples. And Scientology, which is modern day Catholicism, and that's their symbol. That's the vision they get you right now. And what vision do you have? You don't have a vision of Farrakhan. We'll stay here. We're gonna be good niggas for Master. We're on tour. We're gonna be better niggas. Really? Tell them wrong. Come on, brothers and sisters. Okay, now I'm gonna get to my. This I'm doing the second row here. Oh, what? It's a lot of time again, so I keep it short. Boy, I tell you. Listen to the covenant. See here? Listen to the covenant. You got to go to war with America. Right? Mind war. Physical war, they're going to attack us. They're the ones holding us down mentally. That's the battle right now. They're battling us. Actually, they're battling us right now. They've been battling for 20 years mentally. That's the war right now. I said we're at war. Mental war. It's a mental war, not physical. Well, it's mental war. We're at war with each other. Right now, it's Mr. Covenant. Right? Angel. Okay. Now here's the covenant. When the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, horror. Oh, here we go. I don't know. Let me just be quiet. Come on, brothers and sisters. Sure, I fix this, but like I said, I wouldn't make philosophy out of it. Okay, these folks, boy, it's trip. Okay. Try it again. Oh, no. Sun going down, and deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, horror, 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 horror. A great dark fell upon him. That means we went through horror, but we didn't go to slavery, we went through horror. And when these people talk, well, that's this kind of stuff, that means they're saying our ancestors weren't worth shit. You're supposed to get that. So what if you was back there and you was going through shit, horror, 400 years of horror? So say, and then you came up here and saw people do it. What would you feel about them? It fits, but oh, I love you. You're my brother. After the horror that you went through, what would you feel? You cut the goddamn throat yourself, wouldn't you? It's thick. They're like saying, all right, man, just forget about it. They should stick. See, what you don't understand is, like, I'm going to talk about this. I'm not sure what book it's in. It may not be in a book. Talking about the tyrant. Because you denounce your ancestors, your descendants are going to denounce you. Because they said the tyrant's going to put you in a situation just as bad as what the Holocaust was. It says you're not coming out. And if your children you have, if they come out, they're allowed to come out. They have to be tested. They have a tattoo on their head saying that they're children of that, and that tattoo will remain their seed forever. I haven't read Message Black in a long time, so I'm not sure what book is in, but I know he taught it. Anybody around know he taught it. So since you denounced them, and now you want to be friendly with the people that raped them and beat them and sodomized them and pissing them out and everything else, now we ain't gonna do that to you. But the pain will be just equal. The humiliation will just be equal. Because we ain't gonna be raping and all that kind of stuff. We don't do that. But maybe we should just raise some devils and put you back on some devils. Maybe might be. That's the way time will do it. I don't know how time is gonna do it. Maybe he has some devils. He controls the devils and put you back in control of the devils. I don't know. But you will suffer. Maybe same quality. You mean it, right? But it will be the intensity will be just the same. So, look, it's amazing. You rape my mama, now I'll be your friend. He said, Abram, know assuredly, that sea shall be a strange land that's not theirs. Remember, if you read the whole thing, it said we came over in ships. That couldn't have been them because they don't have to go from Palestine to Egypt in ships. Right? And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 40 years. That serve an affliction. And all that nation who they shall serve, I will judge the nation. Perhaps they're going to judge us. Say, judge that nation, America. It's the place. After they should come out with great substance. They talk about that, but they don't. But right down there, say verse 18, and the same day, the Lord made a covenant. That's the covenant, measure of the covenant. Talking about this covenant, where they saying, until I see, I have given this land. They never say that. They never talk that. They read the first part. How can I read that part? And said, from the river of Egypt unto the great river Euphrates. Look at the map. That's Arabia. I tell you all again, because I said we're in war with all these people. Because that's Arabia. That's Hazazah. That's Ishmael. They are half brothers. They were paying Wallace, they paying Farrakhan too, to stop teaching that stuff about we come take our land back. They pay them. They don't want you over there. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. Destruction of the false vision of the Antichrist will illuminate the true vision, right? Illuminate the true vision of true Savior, not giving back to illuminate. It means when you're giving your mind back, you're totally clear because false Israel is not there anymore, so it won't be anything to distract you. Because well, I got this mind, but it's still there. No, it's going to illuminate the true vision of true Abraham. We'll do it at the point of your hard cost. Going to unite under the true vision. See? Farrakhan, he teaches from the sealed Bible because he's a demon. He doesn't know how he had to teach from there because it's still sealed to him. Because he's one of them. But soon I will come and break those seals and open that book up and give you the right mind back, clear. I will go into that more detail, but brothers and sisters, I said time goes so fast, so I was going to illuminate that more. But anyway, that's basically the story. Let's move on. Now, the whole idea, they don't want you to know who Joshua is. But that's what Exodus said about, well, who's this Joshua? That's why Farrakhan never mentioned Joshua. It's right there. He never mentioned it's right in Exodus. He's the one that actually take you home. He's mentioned the covenant. Never mentioned the covenant. Never mentioned Joshua. Never mentioned the covenant. Why don't mention those three things? Because that's a true Messiah. They don't mention it. They don't mention the covenant. Right in their life. So he was suddenly come. He said that's the one you should be seeking. Him. Not Farrakhan, not even Elijah. Be seeking to mention the covenant, but he don't mention it. Never mention it. Mention the covenant. What covenant? He never mentioned the covenant. You go there, he tells Malachi, but doesn't mention the covenant. Then you go to the covenant, oh amen, and he don't mention the covenant. He don't mention it either. You see, that's connected. Never mention it. Never mention Joshua right there in Exodus. Never mention those. All three things are connected. Why? Let's look into it. Because then they give this place called Jesus, who they said son of man with that woolly hair and dark skin, but that's not matched by Muhammad. That's Muhammad's God. That's not, be clear about that. And that's not Farrakhan. He got the same hair that never had his father got. So look at this. Maybe you understand. I'm not going to do the whole thing today, bro. I say I can't do the whole. I'll do the second part tomorrow. Joshua. Jesus. Okay, let's look at this. Joshua. This thing. This Jesus I tell you about. Let's play some of this.
Aramaic Bible in plain English. 1 And a certain man was sick, Lazar of the town of Bethany, the brother of Miriam and of Martha. * 2 This Miriam was the one who had anointed the feet of Yeshua with ointment and wiped them with her hair, whose brother Lazar was sick. 3 And his 2 sisters sent to Yeshua, and they were saying, Our Lord, behold, he whom you love is sick. 4 Yeshua said, This sickness is not of death, but for the glory of God, that the Son of God may be glorified because of it. 5 Now Yeshua did love Martha and...
I'm not going to play the whole thing, but remember the scriptures was written in Aramaic, Hebrew, and the Quran Arabic, Semitic languages. Not written in Greek. They tell you Greek, that's a lie, because Jesus was given a complete book. The one you call Jesus was given a complete book. They tell you Mark and Luke and all that stuff was written 5 years later in Greece. That's bullshit. That's another deception. But first of all, if it was that's true, they never met just Jesus talking about. So how you know they just made something up? The Bible was complete when the person you call Jesus gave it to him, complete Bible, so-called New Testament, and the what you call Revelation. So what you just saw Aramaic, you just saw what the name they use in the New Testament, so-called New Testament. Right? The name they use is not Jesus, Joshua, Yahshua. The name Jesus is not in the manuscripts. You might have in your Bible, but even in your Bible, it's not in the so-called Old Testament. So he's the God, Son of God. How come it's not mentioned there? Name mentioned there is only Joshua. It's not mentioned in the New Testament at all. I mean, the Old Testament. And it's mentioned in the New Testament, but it's not in the manuscripts. So how did it get there? How did the name Jesus come from? It's not there in the manuscripts. So let's look at the Old Testament. The same name. So there's not playing a game here. It's the same name now. The same name. Right? Let's look at a little bit of that.
Aramaic Bible in plain English. 1. And after Moshe the servant of Lord Jehovah died, Lord Jehovah said to Yeshua son of Nun, the minister of Moshe, to Moshe my servant has died, arise, cross this Jordan, you and all this people to the land that I give to them, the children of Israel. 3. Every place that the sole of your foot will tread in it, it shall be yours, as I said to Moshe. 4. From the wilderness and the mountain of this Lebanon and unto Euphrates the great river, and all the land of the Kithites and unto the great sea, the name Joshua, or Yehoshua, means Yahweh is salvation.
See? Here. Now, Joshua. So the name is Joshua. Now Jesus. So why don't I want you to know about Joshua? Farrakhan never mentioned Joshua, never at all mentioned the name Joshua. Why? That's the name they used there. That's the name of the person after Aaron. That's the messenger of the covenant, the one takes us home. So why did they never mention Joshua? You never heard him mentioned at all. Because Joshua is the person that the script's talking about. And if you know Joshua, that's in the manuscripts, not Jesus, then you start looking at, well, who is Joshua? They don't want you to know who Joshua is, because Joshua is the Messiah. He's the one going to take you home. He don't want your money. He come to give you something like, son, now give me money. He don't want your money. He come to give you. It's a free gift. He come to get you home. He come to tell you what to do. He come to get information to get you home so you will be truly free. Truth will make you free. The truth. Are you free on the Farrakhan? Free your money. Okay, let's go to the next one.
In the Bible, the name Joshua, or Yehoshua, means Yahweh is salvation or God is deliverance. The name is a combination of Yahweh, God's name, and Yasha, to save or deliver. In the Hebrew Bible, Joshua is a prominent figure, succeeding Moses as the leader of the Israelites and guiding them into the promised land.
Notice that. He's the one to succeed Moses. What happened to Aaron? They bypassed Aaron because Aaron was a liar and deceiver. It went from Moses to Joshua, Elijah to Messenger of the Covenant. Bypassed Aaron because Aaron got himself killed as people killed because there was betrayers and liars. That's what it says here. But they don't believe in the Bible. So no, keep on where you are. Let's move on. Read the last chapter 12. If you're a dumbass, you stupid, stay stupid. You ignorant, stay ignorant. You fool, stay a fool. If you're righteous, stay righteous. They want you to separate, they don't want to mix you up. We need to separate this chaff from the wheat, not to mix you back together.
In Greek, the word Christ, Kairo iota sigma tau, Christos, is the equivalent of the Hebrew word Messiah, Mashiach, both meaning anointed one. Essentially, Jesus Christ is a way of saying Jesus the Messiah. Or more correctly, Joshua the Messiah.
Your brothers and sisters, Christ is also a Greek word. Jesus Christ doesn't exist. Messiah is the anointed one. Farrakhan says he's anointed. No. Messiah. He's not a Messiah. Joshua's a Messiah. Who's this Joshua? Remember, they're trying to say Farrakhan's a Joshua now. Let's move on. And here's the deception, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to finish this. No. I'm going to rush it. Sound again.
Say Genesis.
Okay. Now, if I'm wrong about this, you get $5,000. The scripture is written in Hebrew, Aramaic, maybe Arabic if you're talking about the Quran. That's where the scripture is written. They try to tell you that Mark and Luke and that kind of stuff was written years after Jesus was gone. And they say it was written in Greek. So how they get to, why they had to go, remember these people was from Palestine, so why they had to go to Greek and write? Why they had to go to Greece and write? Something they, remember, and they don't even know Jesus. Remember, they said 500 years later, that's what they're telling you. They wrote these scriptures, that's a lie. The book was complete when he gave it to them. But they got all this stuff so they could do what the trick, so they could pull a trick that I'm going to show you they did. See? Because they, remember, Joshua is the Messiah that brings a new world and destroys them. So they don't want you to know who that is. They want you to know you're the people of Joshua. You understand that? Okay, let's look at it. So if you speak English, you say translate direct to English, right? That's what you want. That makes sense, right? Translate from either Hebrew or Aramaic straight to English, right? But no, what they do? They translate over to Greek first. What you do that for? Why do you translate Greek first? Why? Because this is why they do it. $5,000, you prove me I'm wrong. You see this person, he look familiar, right? But that's Zeus. He's the top god in Greek mythology, top one, supreme being. Familiar, don't he? And he could be somebody's father, doesn't he? Come on. You see, Zeus, big god of the sky, king of the gods. That's what Zeus is. Now, GE in Greek represents earth. So you got a lot of Greek words in English. Geology, geometry, geophysics, so forth, so on, right? Well, that G means it has something to do with the earth. Those are Greek words. Check them out. Take my word for it. They're all Greek words. There's a bunch of them. There's some of them, right? Geophysics, whatever, right? The Greek words. And the G means it has something to do with the earth. Just like transport, transfer, transportation means, transgender means you change it from one thing to another. Transfer. Trans, right? That's a prefix. And that we stand for. So same thing in Greek, with G means they're putting in front, that's up to the earth, right? Okay. So what he did was, remember, that Zeus, he's the god of the sky, right? Of the heavens. He's not the god of earth. So his son is the god of earth. Jesus. That's where he got it from. Jesus. So if you're a Greek and you come to America, you say you don't know you don't know English, you know how to write English, you know how to spell it, right? And you say, "What's your name?" "My name is Jesus." Well, if you write it down the way you heard it, you write Jesus, Jesus. That's where they got it from. It's not in the Bible anywhere. They translate the Greek. They come out named Jesus because he doesn't exist. Then you get somebody blonde hair and blue eyes and white, and when they clearly tell you that the Son of Man would be dark skinned with woolly hair, they don't want you to know who Joshua is. That's the whole point.
Biblical interpretations state that Jesus will establish his kingdom on earth after his second coming, fulfilling prophecies of 1,000-year reign. Biblical interpretations state that Jesus will establish his kingdom on earth after his second coming, fulfilling prophecies of 1,000-year reign where God's will is done on earth as it is in heaven. While his kingdom is currently spiritual,
that's an deception by itself. Because that 1,000-year millennia, that's past. Remember, they would come out to see the whole world. God can make me two European world powers. America and Britain, there's only been two world powers that you know about. America and Britain, that's Gog and Magog. See the whole world. And after 1,000 years, they tell us the future. That's another lie. That's the past. That's so-called Dark Ages. They was locked down by Abraham's resurrected Islamic Empire under Prophet Muhammad. Kept locked down for 1,000 years. They broke out after 1,000 years, Gog and Magog. And they didn't even know it was horrors. They didn't know about Jesus coming back. That happened. So they see about that. So that's the future. Because if you know it was the past, then that would identify who Satan is, who devils are, and everything else. Because they was ones in the pit. Okay. I'm not going to finish all the whole parts of this, brother. I'm going to finish this part and do the rest tomorrow. Let's listen to the rest of this.
1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. 2. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold. 1. Behold, I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me, and the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple, even the messenger of the covenant, whom ye delight in. Behold, he shall come, saith the Lord of hosts. 2. But who may abide the day of his coming? And who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire, and like fuller's soap. 3. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. 4. Then shall the offering of Judah and Jerusalem be pleasant unto the Lord, as in the days of old, and as in former years.
Notice they never mentioned the covenants right there in Malachi. Why they never mention the covenant? I said what the covenant is, they mention the covenant. Why? That's Joshua. And that's Farrakhan. Why they never mention the covenant? They suddenly come to Elijah's temple. That's what you should be seeking. Go on.
1. Now after the death of Moses the servant of the Lord it came to pass, that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' minister, saying, 2. Moses my servant is dead, now therefore arise, go over this Jordan, thou, and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel. 3. Every place that the sole of your foot shall tread upon, that have I given unto you, as I said unto Moses. 4. From the wilderness and this Lebanon even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun, shall be your coast.
See, he's passing the torch to Joshua, but they never mention. Don't mention Aaron. Pass by Aaron. Why? Read Exodus. Because he got himself killed and all his people with him.
5. There shall not any man be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life, as I was with Moses, so I will be with thee, I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. 6. Be strong and of a good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land, which I swear unto their fathers to give them. 7. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law, which Moses my servant commanded thee, turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper whithersoever thou goest. 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein, for then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. 9. Have not I commanded thee? Be strong and of a good courage, be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord thy God is with thee whithersoever thou goest.
Okay, brother and sister, I thought I'd let you dwell on that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Think of the promise there. Think of the promise there. No man should be able to stand before thee all the days of thy life. In other words, be brave. Don't worry about anything. I got your back. Don't worry about nothing, right? And this is where he's going to be with the Messiah, the true Messiah, right? The one that comes after Moses, bypassing Aaron. But Farrakhan says he's the Messiah. So think about it. Now, this is what the God promised. Now, if the God promised you that, and then you're 55 years old, right? And your ass blown up. See? It was intentional, actually. But even if it wasn't, your ass was blown up. Now, remember, God can see, he's protecting you, right? You can see in the future, you see what's going on. Got your ass blown up. Now, shitting and pissing in the bag. Any trace of manhood you had is gone. You're a goddamn eunuch. You're shitting and pissing in the bag. Would you call that protection? Would you think that this applies to you? Because that's protection that God is providing. He can keep that shit to himself. You understand what I'm saying? Would you consider yourself protected under those circumstances? No man stand before you, right? Be of good courage. I will not fail you. What it says here? Be strong and be of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed, for the Lord God is with thee. Right? What's the other one says? Oh, right here. Thou shalt and stand before thee all the days of life. That was in Moses. So I will be with thee. I will not fail thee nor forsake thee. That's Farrakhan. Well, if that's the competition his God provide, please stay the fuck away from me. Please. What a damn joke, boy. Oh, watch what happens, brothers and sisters. Let's move on. This stuff is so clear, brothers and sisters. This easy than 1 + 1 = 2. It's easier than that. Okay, because I'm not gonna finish this, brothers and sisters. I got that part. Ancient days. I'll start picking up on tomorrow. So I guess it's gonna take a couple of days before I get through all this. I got stuff to talk about, and really, I'm still like, still have a lot more, but I'm trying to get you to understand where we are right now. That's for you who have eyes and want to see. I'm trying to light on. They're blocking it. Remember, light has heat, and the more they block it, the heat hotter it gets. Pretty soon it's gonna burn their ass up, and then they be out the way. I'm gonna leave it there, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna leave it there. Understand, this is not a joke. The war will start. As soon as it starts, you see these things happening. Farrakhan will be one of the first casualties. There'll be blood there in the nation of Islam too. Read Exodus. It says, once Moses separated those with the measure of covenant, those with the Lord measure come with me. They went back and it was a bloodbath between them and Aaron and his followers. Bloodbath, brothers and sisters. So if you don't like blood, I don't like blood myself. I don't like blood. When they give me a take blood and stuff, I can't even look. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, brothers and sisters. I hate the sight of blood. I hate it. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. They pick somebody that hates the sight of blood. But that's gonna be a blood bath. It's gonna be blood everywhere. How do you give birth to a baby? Ask any woman. Is there blood everywhere? Assalamu alaikum.
We have a lot of that going on, but we're taking care of our farmers. We can't let our farmers not have anybody. These are these people that you can't replace them very easily. People that live in the inner city are not doing that work. They're just not doing that work, and they've tried. We've tried. Everybody tried. They don't do it. These people do it naturally. I said, what happens if they get it to a farmer the other day? What happens if they get a bad back? He said, they don't get a bad back, sir, because if they get a bad back, they die. I said, that's interesting, isn't it?
Well, you heard that. Donald Trump is a believer in eugenics. He believes that white people are the superior race. And inner city is code for black people. And he believes black people cannot now work on the farms. I guess they're not good enough for that. So Hispanic people can do it because they have the backs for it. This is what this man is saying out loud in interviews. He is a racist. It's been proven time and time again. The man had Mein Kampf on his bedside table that he would read at night. Enough to let you know where he stands on that. Just more outrageous, racist things from Donald Trump. They want to arrest those who can do the farm work, well, until their backs give out. And then he'll probably ship them to El Salvador or some other country. Just more vile statements from the president and let you know where he stands.
When they were arresting people for praying outside of abortion clinics. I mean, I do think the UK, and I say this as, you know, someone who is half English, I think it's like reached, or it is quickly reaching a point where democratic reforms are going to be pretty tough because of the demographic change. And that, of course, the point of importing all these people is to overwhelm the people who live there who disapprove of the program. So you don't have to care what they think because you just bring in new people, and their will becomes like all that matters. And so I don't think you're going to fix these things through elections at some point, probably pretty soon. And I just worry a place like the UK, Canada is another, a bunch of different countries in the West are at the point where they're literally revolutionary. They are poised for revolution. And as someone who really doesn't support revolution and hates violence and hates civil war above all, I'm worried about that. I mean, I don't see how this is fixed. Starmer, who's, you know, he's just an instrument of larger forces, but he's a poisonous character, obviously, who's really hurt your country. He's in there for, 4 more years? And so you wonder, like, people are going to start to get really radical in a scary way. Like, I think this is going to happen. And the people in charge don't seem to care.
Well, you're already seeing it. You are seeing the anger beginning to manifest itself, and I completely understand the anger. I don't like you. I abhor any form of violence, but I do understand the anger when you have, you know, Keir Starmer campaigned, I'm going to smash the gangs that allow these little boats to come over the channel, delivering tens of thousands of people illegally into the country. And they then get put into these so-called asylum hotels where they're given a pretty good lifestyle, certainly a far better lifestyle than many people really struggling at the moment in the UK. And of course, far from smashing the gangs, it turned out yesterday that he's smashing new records for the number of people coming in illegally on the boats. Of course, it's out of control. And the British public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly?
Public are reaching a point of saying, we are done with people coming in illegally and being treated better in a more comfortable and more luxurious manner than we treat our own people.
Well, the whole point is to humiliate and degrade the indigenous population of the British Isles, the white population. I mean, that's the whole point. And are they really going to do something about it? What would that be exactly? You'd really have to force a lot of people to go back to their countries of origin, millions of people, and you need to do it really soon. And are they actually willing to do that? I don't know, but these are existential questions that we have been browbeat into ignoring for decades. But the question is, like, is Ireland Ireland? If it's majority non-Irish, oh, shut up, they're Irish. No, they're actually not Irish. Same with the UK, same with England, Scotland, Wales. Like, it's all changing so fast. Nothing like this has ever happened in all of history, except when, say, the Mongols swept across the steppe and raped everybody. Like, that was true demographic change on this scale. But even that wasn't as profound as what we're seeing in every white country around the world. I would say the West, but Australia and New Zealand also. So, like, what is that? Now, my brain is not big enough to understand what that is. I have a lot of theories about it, but I don't know if they're true. All I know is what the numbers are, and that's real, and no one feels that he can say it. Everyone's like, oh, well, if that were happening in China or India or Malaysia or Senegal, it doesn't matter. You'd be like, what the hell is that? Like, the population's totally different. Look at graduation. Pick, I don't know, King's College Law School. and look at the graduation picture for the last 30 years. Who's in it? Just like let your eyes tell you the truth for once. Like this is a total change in population. Is it better? Is it worse? Can't have that conversation. Who's pushing this? Does the population want it? The population clearly doesn't want it. There's no polling that's meaningful on the subject. I mean, there's no referendum on it. You don't get to decide. You've got no voice in it other than you get to go to jail if you complain loudly enough about it. What is this? I think it's the biggest and darkest thing that has happened in the last 1,000 years, for sure. And I think it's leading somewhere really, really bad. It's not happening by accident, that's obvious, because it's only happening in white countries.
I mean, I think that...
Oh, shut up, white supremacist. Well, in fact, I'm not a white supremacist.
Well,
I'm just noticing what the hell's going on.
I think most people I've spoken to about this in the UK, most people have always viewed the UK to be a very tolerant, multicultural, cosmopolitan place to live. That's why so many people want to come here. And people have no problem with that. And it's been very successful for a long period of time.
But it's multicultural? What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law... What does that mean?
We have a lot of different people from different countries, different cultures, and it's always worked historically.
So is Sharia law in a multicultural country, is Sharia law every bit as valid as English common?
No, people don't want Sharia law here. No.
A lot of people do. Wait, hold on. I don't know what you mean. Multiculturalism itself is a lie designed to subvert a society. No, a society has a culture. You can argue about what it is or ought to be. It's not necessarily the same as race. It's connected to race, but it's not the same. People from different races can buy into your culture. That was kind of the beauty of the West. But a multicultural society is not sustainable. There's never been such a
society is
one
about
culture will dominate.
Hang on, Tucker. Surely the United States of America, given the very way it was created, is the epitome of a multicultural society. And my point I was going to make to you was...
It's absolutely not. No. It's a multiracial society.
Yeah.
Though it was not actually a multiracial society up until pretty recent. It was just like 90% white for most of its existence, but whatever. But you did have different peoples, you had different religions. That was all totally fine, but there was one culture, as American culture. There's no such thing as a multicultural society. It's not sustainable. One culture will overwhelm the other. Again, it's not the same as race. It's not identical to race. It's connected, but it's not the same. But multiculturalism is by definition insane. No, it's never happened. It never will happen. One culture will predominate. It will impose its values on everybody else. I mean, the gay thing, which was not a thing 40 years ago, gay was a slur, all of a sudden becomes multicultural there. There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them. It's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's
determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. That's natural. It's natural that people's views evolve.
So those values can evolve.
There's one culture, and it's required. And that's true in every society, because a culture is a commonly agreed upon set of values, which in their firmest form are called laws.
But those values can evolve.
This is true everywhere.
But those values can evolve.
Of course they evolve, but there's only one set of them.
Look,
it's not multicultural. There's one set. You worship one God in every society. Sorry.
But your country's values were established by the United States Constitution, and that's had, 26, 27 amendments, right? So your own values, as determined by the founding fathers, they have evolved and been changed to accommodate changing times.
There's no doubt. Look, I'm not even arguing against change. Natural that people's views evolve.
So the culture changes.
Once you start rejecting the laws of nature, then you're doomed. But let me just say, no, of course, societies change. I get it. All I'm saying, I'm making a very discrete, specific point, which is multiculturalism as an idea is laughably stupid. It has never worked. We never had it anywhere, and it never will exist because it's contrary to human nature. One culture, one way of looking at things, one worldview will predominate, and it will punish all who deviate from it. That is the nature of societies. So if you're telling me it's multicultural, we can all live and have radically different values, that's just not true. It's never been true. It never will be true. So you're having one culture, one worldview predominate over another and dominate and suppress all dissent. That's just what it is, dude.
But
Let's be honest.
I would point to the United States of America and the United Kingdom as two shining examples, albeit not completely without their flaws, but shining examples of places that are deemed by the rest of the certainly feel that about my country.
Well, I certainly think that inherent in Christianity is the notion of tolerance, and that draws from a core Christian concept, which is free will. You cannot force someone to convert. There's never been conversion by the sword in Christianity. People decide to believe in it. And so that is central to the religion, therefore it's been central to the society. Western civilization is Christian civilization. And so we call that tolerance. It's a respect for your inherent God-given right to make a choice about what you believe. Okay, so of course, that's always been a feature. My only point is, a society has a commonly agreed upon set of beliefs, rules, and laws that are the definition of the society itself. That's what a society is. So you can't have competing. You can't have, gay world and Sharia world living co-equally in a society. That does not happen. It will never happen. You have to pick one. Are we the Sharia society? Are we the party time gay rights society? Which one? And you can't face that reality. So you're just sort of snoozing along until the inevitable point where you're going to wake up and be like, my values have no bearing on what our society is anymore because we've been invaded by other people with a totally different worldview and they're now in charge. And that day is coming very soon for your country and maybe it'll improve it. I don't think the UK could be a lot worse than it already is. It's this kind of disgusting, sad, self-hating, suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English person. But that day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architect. That's a choice that we're all going to face. Suicidal island that was once great. It kills me to see it as a half English. That day is coming. It will change. You will either decide to be Western or Eastern. That's a choice that we're all going to face. I don't want to face that choice, but it's being foisted upon us by the architects of mass migration. Sorry.
I would question your characterization as my country as a sad, disgusting, what's the rest of it, suicidal nation. I feel none of those things. I feel very happy to be in the United Kingdom, and I feel that there are lots of very happy.
Our system, the Western system, which is very distinct from the Eastern system, very distinct, and it's distinct on this one precise point, we believe and have always believed since this country was founded, since your country became, not a pure monarchy, but even when it was a pure monarchy, the belief in the West, because of Christianity, was the worst thing you can do is punish the innocent. That's the worst thing you can do. That's worse than not punishing the guilty. And we often said that to each other. We no longer say that because there is a pretty concerted effort to blur the meaning of these terms. But I'm not going to be deterred from defining words precisely. Terror is murdering people, killing people, punishing people who committed no crime. Period.
So when the Israeli government says it has repeatedly that even though over 20,000 completely innocent children are believed to have died in their response to what Hamas did on October the 7th at the hands of the IDF, there are many on the pro-Palestinian side who say that Israel is behaving like terrorists too in the way that they have gone about conducting this war. Would you go as far as to say that?
One of the things that I really object to now is this relentless focus on Israel, which, by the way, is a foreign country that I have nothing to do with.
We've done this before. Now, maybe today things are different, and we will end up living in a nation that is sharply divided and may ultimately produce something else. But I'm an American. I love my country. I want to see it stay together. I'm interested in social cohesion, which means that I think our laws, customs, and culture have to be dominant. We can accept some diversity on the edges, but not fundamental division. I think we're in a state of fundamental division. So when I bring up Sharia law, I've sat in many discussions with many people that said, well, I don't care what people look like, but I do care about Sharia law, and I don't want that practiced anywhere near my family or in my country. And that's something you should be aware of. So the notion that someone can come here and say, well, that's part of my religion and we're going to abide by Sharia law, they're going to find serious resistance and opposition in the country.
And as I clarified,
it's because it matters. It's this thing we call societal cohesion. Nations do not exist on their own. They have a core population. Our core population from the very beginning was always at least 80% European and Christian, and about 15 to 20% African. But when you start bringing in huge numbers, millions, who are fundamentally different from the core population, you are going to get violence, anger, and conflict. How many times have you heard people say, if you bring people in from the developing world, what do you get? The developing world. And now we've got that. You can't bring in hundreds of thousands of people from Somalia, plant them, of all places, in Minnesota, and then be shocked that, no, they're not Americans. They're not really interested in being Americans. They're foreigners living on American soil. Nobody wants to say that publicly. If you do, oh, well, you're a racist. Well, you know, the world is full of racists. The real war that's going to decide our fate is not going to be fought anywhere overseas. It's going to be fought right here inside the United States. Are we going to survive as a republic, as an English-speaking republic that rests on the foundations of Western civilization? Or are we going to become something else?
One point that is
The Constitution was completed in 1789. I think we had 5 million people living in the 13 British colonies. We were 90% white, that is excluding the Africans that were in the country who had been brought here as slaves. But we were 90% white. We were 90% Protestant. And this may be hard for you to believe, but the people that wrote that were trying to protect all of the Protestant sects from a state church on the model of the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church. That's one of the reasons it was almost 100 years or more after that before people began to finally accept Catholicism as a religion, because it was viewed as political power. My point to you is the Constitution is outdated. The way we are governed is outdated. It has to be re-examined. Nobody in 1789 imagined that anybody would come to the United States except another lunatic, religious fanatical Protestant who hated the Church of England. That's what people feared. That's what they thought of. The Constitution that we have does many good things, but I would argue that the Bill of Rights is ultimately more important. The Bill of Rights is vital and essential, and that needs to be defended. But the Constitution and the way we govern and the things that we're doing, it's out of date. It doesn't fit our needs. And that's back to my comment on something given has no value. You have to earn it. And we haven't made anybody earn their place in this country. I'm talking about people like me that have been here forever. My first ancestor stepped off the boat in 1681. So we've got to get back to some notion of national service, because national service promotes national integration. It addresses some of these problems that you're discussing. Now, I know that you may not want to conform and may not want to be as I am, but I'm an American and nobody questions that. Nobody ever will. If you don't want to stand out and be questioned, then I suggest that you change your appearance, because I don't think it's life or death for you to wear what you wear.
I think this conversation.
It's not fine, because it's leading to violence that could have otherwise been avoided. You see, every great nation, every large nation can always accept some number of people into its ranks that are different from them. It's always been the case. But if you suddenly import millions, which is what's happened here and happened in Europe, then you threaten the core gene pool. What I'm trying to tell you is there's a problem. And we can all pretend that there isn't, and you can insist there isn't, but that's the view. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to address it truthfully and openly. Stop pretending it's not a problem. It's a problem.
I mean, what's also a problem is white supremacy, and that's.
No, because you're saying you're different, you're going to remain different, and you don't think that if that's not compatible with being an American, then the hell with it. That's what you're going to do.
Well, then what do you make then of, white American people who convert, let's say, to Islam and choose to cover? Are they not American anymore?
Listen, if they want to do that, that's obviously their business. I don't know how many are out there that do that. I think again, it's ill-advised. I think you have to hold the society together. There has to be an agreement on certain things, customs, culture, way of life. And unfortunately, if you're going to practice rigidly a brand of Islam that demands certain things, and this is why I asked right off the bat, do you support Sharia law?
I'm a Muslim. What being a Muslim means is I follow the guidelines of my religion, which is a peaceful. Does your religion
dictate to you Sharia law?
My religion dictates to me to be a good human being, to be good to my neighbors, to
that the most powerful force in today's Republican Party is represented by what Charlie Kirk said. It is this drive to make America a white Christian nation. I got to tell you, this is what they say privately. This is now what they say publicly. This is what Charlie Kirk said publicly.
And Joe, again, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, because you know these people very, very well. Yeah. You said it yourself. You were one of the strongest voices. You were one of the folks who understood the incendiary language when you were in Congress, when you had your radio show, and how people loved when you did it. And then when you chose to apologize for that and turn away from it, oh my God, they literally have just tried to destroy you because of that.
Yeah, again, you know the deal, Roland, right? I came out publicly against Trump 7 years. For 7 years, I put up with death threats on a regular basis. Nobody is welcome in that party unless you bow down to what this force is, this MAGA force. And again, look, there have been some people on the left who've celebrated Charlie Kirk's murder. Shame on them, be better people. But this is much worse, Roland, what my former friends are doing on the right, because they are turning this into a holy war. When you say we declare war on the left because of what some 22-year-old young guy did in Utah, and then you declare war on the whole left, that's a lot worse than celebrating Charlie Kirk's murder, because that's dishonest, but that's also inciting hate and violence. And Roland, look, Trump's an idiot. So yeah, Trump says the left, the problem in the country is the left. J.D. Vance is not an idiot. What did J.D. Vance say today, right? He was subbing for Charlie Kirk on his radio show, and he spent the entire show going after the left, going after them, they, them. Man, Democrats need to wake up, Roland. This is a really serious deal by my former colleagues. The stuff that I hear privately from them right now, Roland, for the last 5 days, I mean, they want to go to war. This is a holy war.
Oh, it absolutely is. And what really jumps out at me on this very thing here, Joe, and I've been saying this, I played the speech 2 weeks ago that mainstream media just ignored, of Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt, who gave a speech at NatCon, Peter Thiel's group, where he literally gave a white nationalist speech, where he said our ancestors fought for this country to be ours and no one else. He was talking about white people. He was basically saying if you are black, Latino, Asian American, or even Native American, America is not for you. And folks just ignored it. And so people need to understand, again, what they're saying, why they're saying it. And yes, there are many evangelicals, any very conservative white Christians who are pushing this as well. And you nailed it. They want a holy war. They want a race war. They want this to be a white country. It is clear as day.
And Roland, really important point. Charlie Kirk at only 31, the impact he had, because he was one of the most successful pushers of this white Christian nationalistic idea. And so I think that's why all of his defenders are out there so strenuously denying he said anything divisive, because they know if you really go through Charlie Kirk's public record, everything he said about people of color and black women and Muslims and gays and transgenders, if people took the time to go through all of that, and that was put out for average people to see, they'd be blown away by it. That's why his defenders are like supercharged right now. They don't want that record to be seen.
Today, you mentioned, and I mentioned as well, Vice President J.D. Vance sitting in to do his show. And listen to this man just blatantly lie, Joe. Play it.
I read a story in The Nation magazine about my dear friend, Charlie Kirk. Now, The Nation isn't a fringe blog. It's a well-funded, well-respected magazine whose publishing history goes back to the American Civil War. George Soros's Open Society Foundation funds this magazine, as does the Ford Foundation and many other wealthy titans of the American progressive movement. The writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words. He made an argument against affirmative action as a policy. He criticized a specific Supreme Court justice as an individual. He never said anything about black women as a group. He made an argument for judging people of all races and backgrounds by their own individual merits.
Bullshit.
Okay, Joe, this is actually what he said.
No, Roland, that's utter bullshit.
In fact, if we would have said 3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, and particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color.
All right, Joe. He literally said it. Not only that, Vance lied. Soros does not fund the nation. So he sat there and flat out lied.
And Roland, remind me, what's J.D. Vance's job? He's the vice president, and yet he had time today to do a radio show for a former right-wing podcaster. I mean, look what they're not even, Roland, they're not even subtle about it, what this White House is doing. They believe, man, the path to victory is fear, hate, and division. And that's what they're putting out there. That was Charlie Kirk literally going after 4 accomplished black women by saying they didn't have the brain power to get where they got. This is what he believed. And this is what MAGA believes. And that, again, Roland, broken record, that's why Charlie Kirk was so damn successful, why he had such a big audience.
Yeah, and not only that, you take Nick Fuentes, who's to the right of Charlie Kirk. The night of or the day after Kirk was shot and killed, Fuentes had 200,000 people watching him live. And so what you have this fervor. And so when I listen to Trump and Vance and all these people talk about, how the left, they're indoctrinating. No, and you know this very well, the indoctrination. We've had people who formerly with Turning Point USA put out videos talking about how it was really this cult-like figure, this messianic figure, as they sort of set Kirk up as, and how they want them to follow that. And so that's what's going on here. These people are not trying to have open dialogue. And not only that, Joe, you take Trump, okay? Trump was very clear in saying he was not going to call Governor Tim Walz after those 4 folks were shot in Minnesota. 2 were killed, including former Speaker of the House and her husband. Now today he's saying, he never even heard of Melissa Hortman, and if the governor had asked him, he would have, of course, lowered the flags to have staff. I'm sorry, he's also lying. He knew about her. He knew about the shooting, but he was so arrogant that he said, 2 Democrats, a Democrat Speaker of the House shot and killed. Yeah, I don't care, but lower the flags to have staff with Charlie Kirk. Flies body on Air Force 2. Do a memorial service at the Kennedy Center. Do another one at the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. Give him the Medal of Freedom. And I'm telling you, they're going to give him a state funeral. That's what you're seeing right now. And then you got Peter Hegseth going after members of the military who said anything negative in the aftermath of his death. You've got Kirk supporters creating a database of people of every social media post, and then even Vance saying in the podcast, you call their employer. So the so-called free speech people all of a sudden are saying, if you say anything negative about Charlie Kirk after what took place last week, we're going to come after you, come after your job. I thought they hated cancel culture, Joe.
Yeah. Roland, I remember back in my right-wing radio days, I would come on every day, and there was always some story about some leftist group on a college campus that couldn't handle speech that made them uncomfortable
to say.
Roland, this is scary. And you and I are old enough, man, to remember huge figures in American history who were gunned down, struck down, military leaders, civil rights leaders. We are treating this 31-year-old podcaster, MAGA influencer, like he's Jesus Christ. So I come from the right. Why are my old colleagues and friends on the right doing this, Roland? Because the right wants a religious war. Let's just call it. They want a civil war. They want a holy war. That's why they're putting him up to be some Jesus-like martyr.
Absolutely. I mean, Glenn Beck literally came out and said he was a civil rights leader. Oh, my God, stop it. Stop it. I've seen people say, I've seen a lot of these videos, I'm leaving my church because my pastor did not mention him. This was a Christian warrior. And let's just be clear. You said it, white Christian nationalists. It's slaveholder religion. We heard a lot of this stuff during slavery, during Jim Crow, things along those lines. And this whole idea about, it was about debate. It was about, exchange of ideas. I mean, come on, let's just stop it. And so we see what's going on here. We see the games that are being played. And then what gets me, Joe, is this whole deal of, oh my God, the left, how they indoctrinated him and the accused killer going to a university. The dude was at a university for one semester, Joe. You're trying to tell me that one semester at a mostly white institution in Mormon, Utah, which is not a liberal bastion, somehow just radicalized him? I mean, it really is showing folks of the hand they're trying to play.
Yeah, and I think even on top of that, Roland, I think it was like some technical school. So it wasn't some crazy liberal arts school for a semester. Look, cut through all the BS. The Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has publicly said that America should be a white Christian country. This is what animates my former party. Roland, you know me, right? Tea Party Hellraiser. I don't come from the left. I left the Republican Party when the Republican Party became MAGA. And my fellow Democrats and folks on the left need to understand, now these people are on the right. Now this is MAGA. MAGA now are the snowflakes. MAGA, Roland, they now need their safe spaces. It's funny, but it's not funny. And you're right about J.D. Vance, man. He just flat out lied. I mean, the last 30-year history of political violence in this country, the vast majority of it is right-wing. It always has been. And they put out this lie that it's only on the left. It's not even, Roland, a both sides problem between the left and the right. There is political violence on the left, but the vast majority is on the right, and they know that, and they're lying because they're trying to inflame their base. And Roland, I hear from their base every day, and let me tell you something, they are inflamed. I mean, they are ready to march and grab their you-know-what. This is a scary time.
It is, and folks need to understand what is certainly at stake. Joe Walsh, I appreciate you joining us on the show.
History of the cross, known by their works. What's the history of the cross? 500-year history of the cross. Murder, rape, destruction, deception, enslavement, burning, terrorizing. To maintain a slavery system, you must terrorize the people 24/7. They terrorize people from Africa and America for 400 years. Constant terror, 24/7, rape, murder. In the name of Jesus. This was Christians, not Buddhists, not Hindus. Christians, in the name of Jesus, when they said Jesus cursed black people, they call them Ham, cursed them to be slaves and persecuted forever. In the name of Jesus, raped our women incessantly, pissed in our mouths, made us eat shit. And they took and tried to clean it up, not clean it up, but make it look more fashionable, I guess, by calling it chitlins. That's after slavery, of course, after so-called slavery. Because what was endured was not slavery. Look up slavery. Look up slavery. It does include murder, rape, terror. This is a Holocaust. And then now they try to downplay it. Oh, that was 400 years ago. No, it wasn't 40 years ago. I don't care if it was a million years ago. It was 40 years ago. It lasts for 400 years. And it's enduring today. They took everything away from the slaves. Everything. Their name, their culture, their families, their religion, their minds, everything. Fed their children to alligators as alligator bait. And then they talk about what's going on in Gaza when they did 1,000 times worse. What's going over in Gaza now is simply just a miniature version of what they did. What they did was far worse than what's going on in Gaza. Gaza's bad. It's genocide. What they did was far worse and much longer. That's the legacy of Christianity. Murder, rape, disease. They wiped out the native population with genocide and disease. Smallpox blankets, knowing they was full with disease. Herpes, syphilis, gonorrhea from sleep with animals. So-called common cold was not common. Didn't exist here on this side of the world until they brought it here. Murder, rape. When they was raping out women, there was a cross hanging from their neck. And again, they taught black that this was God's will. God's will. The enslavement of our people. And they continue on even today. That's the legacy of Christianity, the cross. So where's your rap sheet? Every time they arrest one of our people, your rap sheet. What's your rap sheet? How you going to judge people for murder when you're guilty of murder beyond imagination for hundreds of years? Hundreds of years. Theft. You stole this land and murdered its people. And you crushed the native people here When the braves would go out hunting, you would come into the camps like cowards and kill the women and smash the children's brains out on the hooves of your horses. This is the legacy of Christianity. That's the legacy of it. The question is, if instead of Columbus coming here, Dracula came here, Beelzebub, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Satan, and they all came instead of Columbus, what could they have done that Columbus and those that followed him did? Satan is the God of this world. That's the God they're serving. They have known him by their works. What are the works of Christianity? What are the works of Christianity? Where's the works of Christianity? Evil, deception, mischief, bloodshedding. It goes on today. And what's going on in Gaza, just reflection and microcosm of what was done here in America for hundreds of years. Raped out women incessantly. They would even rape while they was out in the fields picking cotton. They would jump off their horse and tell them to bend over and rape them. And tell them to keep picking cotton while they was doing it. This is the kind of stuff that they would do. Make one slave defecate in the slave and slave in the mouth of another slave, and then bound it up so they couldn't spit it out for 7 days. That's the legacy of slavery. You did it all in the name of Jesus. That's a legacy of slavery. Legacy of slavery. 40 years plus. Legacy of Christianity. Legacy of the cross. That's the legacy. That's the true legacy. So whose works are those? Who are you serving? Who are you serving? The legacy of the cross. Where's your rap sheet, America? Gog? Where's your rap sheet, Magog? Britain? Where's your mayship? Where's your rap sheet? Antichrist, false Israel. Where's your rap sheet? Then they colonized Africa. They're stealing for ripping off everyone. That's the legacy of Christianity. It's been ruling for over 500 years. And now, the threat of nuclear war to finish off everything. That's a legacy of Christianity in the name of your Jesus.
make it. Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going westward or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What the heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will, you are now turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel acting such? And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man say you were free. Remember that.
and going westward or going out there in the land, ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? No. We ain't going back to Africa. No. This is your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their ways. Come out of their pagan holidays where you should be honoring Jesus. You are out here buying bunny rabbits and inviting your children to paint eggs for some Easter hunt. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus out of your house and a tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. The heck is that? Excuse me. Come out of her name. Come out of her religion. Come out of her culture. Come out of her way of life. Come out of her educational system.
Put it back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And this ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our best hero. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the horizon, crying, wanting to return. With their hands stretched out towards that ship and tied in chains themselves bound together. And when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who had proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on this ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You and I turning your face from your own native land and turning it back towards our own prison house and our own enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting such. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There is no justice here for you and me. Why is it that you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shore of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here. They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, build up a nation for yourself after the white man said you were free. Remember that.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant. Okay, brothers and sisters, it's been a year now, and we're finally home after 40 years in Arabia. I'm reporting to you from Arabia. finally home after 40 years. Right? And so we've been here a year now. And there was an agreement made. A former slave master said, we had a choice. Stay here or leave. Right? So we chose our inheritance, Arabia. So we left. And half the original people decided they wanted to give up their inheritance and trade it for a place in America in reconciliation with their former slave master. That's their choice. They chose, said, we don't want to go over to Arabia. We don't go to where it's sand and all that stuff. We want to stay here in America. We've been here all our lives, been here 40 years, born here, right? And we can make peace with our slave master. Okay, so they decided to stay. And so after a year, right, we're getting reports of how things are going over there. And it doesn't sound too good. How things are going over in America with their reparations. Because they was given, they got 6 states, I believe. Yeah, see? Yeah. Yeah, they got those 6 states right there. That's what Farrakhan told them. You know, they was listening to Farrakhan. Farrakhan promised them, you know, they stay there, 6 states, right? Had their own land. And they can make reconciliation with former slave masters. They're not devils. They're not devils. They're human beings. They just had a rough, you know, they were just, you know, did some things wrong, but now they, you know, they're gonna make amends and make reparations. So 6 states, and in addition to that, they gave everybody $1 million. Everybody stayed $1 million. Okay? Say, thank you, Farrakhan. They're so happy. Thank you, Farrakhan. Thank you, Farrakhan. Man, you got 6 states. That's what you promised us. We got 6 states. They're thanking you. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? And you know, I mean, this was a year ago. They got the 6 states. Thank you, Farrakhan. Right? Everybody got $1 million. Everybody $1 million. And they're rejoicing. Oh man, they're so happy. Hey, we came here. We made it. We got America, man. We got reconciliation for a master. We got 6 states. Everybody got $1 million. We're all rich. That was a year ago when we left. So we're in Arabia. They're still back there in America. And now we're getting reports a year later. This was the way it was a year ago, man. They were so happy. They were so happy. Right? And now we get reports of what's going on right now. Let's see. Oops, it says a power failure. Great power failure in those 6 states. Power failure. And just those 6 states. Right? So, and now they had big and massive, they came asking to turn the power. Well, why can't they do it? Oh, Farrakhan didn't train anybody. He was telling you about 6 states, he never prepared you for them. So nobody knows how to do it. How to turn the power grid back on. So now he's begging, man, master, can you come and turn this thing back on for us? I mean, you would think that if he told them 6 states to promise him that he would have prepared them for it, right? Their schools and education, whatever they needed for that. But now I guess they didn't, because they say over there now he's begging the former master to come and turn the power back on. And then what? I mean, this is all that's happening now. I mean, I'm getting these imports in now, a year later. It's like, They're coming in every hour. Power grid failure, right? Then say, oops, crop failure. All of a sudden, there's no, they say, they looked at the farmers, when they done it, farmers said, oh. So then they asked, Master, what's happening here? How come you know, right? Our crop. They found that the land they gave them wasn't that fertile. A year later, nothing's growing. Crop failure. And now they Master, what's happening here? Right? And then, I mean, all these things, every hour that's coming in, right? And then they look, and man, they had, a year ago, they had plenty of food on the shelves, right? And now, they look there now, and all the food's gone. It's gone. She said, what am I going to do here? Food's gone. The house is empty. So he said, Master, we need some food. Well, how come you can't produce your own food? I mean, you want your own country. You got your own states. That's your country. Then you run it. What are you calling us for? Right? So they've been praying. And then, oops, no fuel. There's Master, no fuel there. Well, you got to buy your fuel. You got to produce your own fuel. What you calling us for? You got your own 6 states now. What you calling us for? Go and get some fuel. You got money, right? You got your own states. So you got to get your own. What you calling us for? You said you wanted your own, so now you got it. And you got your reparation, so we don't owe you anything anymore. We don't owe you anything anymore, so what you calling us for? We don't owe you anything. You said you agreed to 6 states and $1 million per person. You took that instead of your inheritance, what you call the Abrahamic covenant, Arabia. Your brothers and sisters, they left. They took that was offered to them. They took it, and you said no. I want this instead. So now you got it. So what you calling us for? Oh, no communications. Oh man. No communications, right? No medical facilities. So what's going on, Master? Wait a minute, hold on. What you calling us for? That's yours. You got to handle that stuff. You want us to handle it for you? You want independence, now you have it. I mean, wow, this stuff is coming every hour, man. Instead of like a year, they was celebrating. And now they're crying and begging the Master, hey, we got all these problems here. I said, wait a minute, that's yours. Where'd you come about your problems? You have to work those out. Right? No transportation, I mean, no planes, no nowhere. We don't know about fly the planes and drive the trucks and the boats and stuff and to go and get this stuff. Well, what you done that for? You wanted this, you got it. So go ahead and train your own pilots, build your own planes, build your own boats and right? You see what I'm saying? Transportation, build your own trucks. What you calling for? Yeah, Master, we see this. You said you wanted 6 states, you got it. You want $1 million per person. That was the reparations. So then if you didn't pay people to take care of this, how's that our problem? You're independent now. You're really free now. Oops, no fuel, the gas station's empty. I can't drive, eh? And no gas. Man, wow. All this stuff happened like for a year. They thought that everything was great, and all of a sudden everything ran out. So I guess what happened? Everything was there when they got it, and then it ran out. They had to, for them to replace the fuel, to get the farms going. So they was left with that stuff. The factory was full. I mean, warehouses full. Then you had to keep. They thought that was just going. I guess they thought it was just going to be there, just by itself. They didn't prepare for it. See? And they ain't trained any engineers and scientists and architects and stuff. They you know, business. They didn't train anybody. So Farrakhan, he told you he's gonna get this for you, but he didn't prepare you for it. He didn't get anybody to handle this stuff. So what was that all about? So now he asked the master, hey, don't call on me. You was here, you had it when you was here with me. You said you want independence, you wanted reparations, so you gave it to you. Well, call on your brothers over there. They left, they handled their own business. You said you want to stay here. Right? See? Don't have any professionals or technicians, scientists, doctors, none of that. See? I mean, that's what, you know, because I mean, if you're going to set reparation, you should be preparing for that, right? So if he was telling you about reparation, you should be preparing for it. If he said, God said that's where he's going to get you, so if God told him he's going to get that for you, then he should, like when God told Noah there was a flood coming, to only build an ark, so he started building an ark. And so you should start preparing for the 6 states and the reparations, but apparently you didn't. And so now, it does say, look, hold it. We want total separation. I mean, look, we don't want you to call us no more. We don't want you to call us no more. Because you're wearing us. You want your own country. You got your own land. Right? You got money, $1 million, all this stuff, right? And so now we got to protect your money and everything too? No, you have to create your own money. You have to do all these things, your own wealth, not ours. Right? So we're going to cut you off from that too. It's all economics. So they go and tell it. They tell all the people and you know, on all the white folks, right? All the black folks. Now all the black folks is either in Arabia or in those 6 states. That's the solution. You had to be one way or the other. There couldn't be no integration, that kind of stuff. That's the deal. You just said one or the other. So all the black folks are there, ain't no integration, that kind of stuff, right? Black folks are there, one or the other, so they're there. So they said, okay, right? So they just say, we're going to take our money because we don't know what y'all doing over there. You have your own money, you have to find your own wealth. So what they do is they tell all the white folks, say, protect your money, right? Transfer your money into gold. Transfer all your dollars into gold. Okay. Now remember, they gave everybody $1 million a piece. So everybody got $1 million a piece, right? And so they transfer it to gold. And then what happens is that what they do is they start just printing money. White folks just start printing money. You understand what that means? That's inflation, right? Because if you got $1 million of gold, a million ounces of gold, say 1 million ounces of gold, understand this, and you got 1 million certificates, then you say each certificate is worth 1 ounce. If you got 1 million ounces, each certificate is worth 1 ounce. Understand that? If you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one of those certificates is worth 1 million. You know, if you want to say trade with the certificates, each one of the certificates is worth 1 ounce of gold, right? But if you take and print, you say you got 1 million ounces of gold, and you got 1 million certificates, each one. But say you print twice as many certificates, you got 2 million. Well, then each certificate is only worth 50 cents now, because you got to connect that to the gold. Well, you print 4 times, then each one is worth a quarter. So the more you print, the less they worth, because those certificates has to equal what the gold is. You understand? So the more you print money, the less, right? The less they're worth. So if you print twice as much money, right, there's less gold. You understand? So if $1 is worth 1 ounce of gold, which that's right, then if you print double that amount of dollars, then each one's worth half an ounce. You understand? That's what printing money without increasing the wealth does. That's inflation. So what happens is They keep printing. They get down to where $100 is worth a penny. But see, that doesn't affect their people. They told to protect their money because they transfer their money to gold. So gold still has its value. It's just the dollars don't. It still got the same amount of gold. But the dollars, they get down to a penny. So you can't buy it. You had $1 million, now your $1 million worth of $5. That's what all this worth. $1 million. Hardly worth anything. Hey, that's our money. You gotta have your own money, you control your own wealth. You can't keep coming at us what you're doing. And you think they wouldn't do that? Yeah, you've been a Gaza lately? You see what happened to the trees they made with the so-called natives? Kept telling me you had a forked tongue because they kept making trees with them, then they broke the trees. And took their land and genocide and everything else. But no, they wouldn't do that to you. See? Because now you have, your money's worth nothing. They haven't lost anything. Because once that money's worthless, it's no good, right? Then you bury it up, throw it away, it's worth nothing. The people still got gold. And even if they take it, hold on, the money hope to increase again, they just use another different certificate, use another form of money. So it's still worth nothing. That $1 million you had, you was so happy with now, it's probably worth maybe $1. So you can't buy anything with $1. Plus the economy's collapse because everything is failing, and you don't know how to repair it. You don't know how to get those communications. You don't know how to do any of this stuff. You're not an engineer, build a house, you don't know how to do anything because Farrakhan didn't. Right? He didn't prepare you. He told you he'll give you 6 days. He told you, listen to me, right? So now you're broke, and your economy is gone. You have no food, no electricity, no power, anything, right? It's not their fault. They gave you what you asked for. You still had your inheritance for that. And then they closed the border. Because you're going to try to get back into America now. We want to come back in, Master. No, we don't want you back in here. We sorry, we want to come in. No. That's what you chose. You stay there. They closed the border, so you can't get back in here. You can't get back in America, into what you could call your land now. Swaziland or something? Farrakhan. Maybe call it Traveland. Farrakhan. They met the Farrakhan. Right? So they close the borders, you can't, because now you're hungry and everything else, your money's worthless. Oh God, come back, Master, I'll come back work for you, I'll work for Popeyes, I'll do anything you want. No, remember, now blacks, either they over in Arabia or they in that land. There are no blacks in America, in places, just in that land, that you 6 days. And now you're starving, you ain't got your money's worthless, nothing works, and they close the border. Right? And then you see Master, you on the phone, you talking to the guy that you kept treating, help you. Hey, we finally got rid of them niggas. Finally got rid of them. Finally got rid of them. See on the phone. Yeah, it worked. We sold them the reparations. We sold them that used car. You turned the miles back and everything else, and they bought it. See? They could have had a BMW. They could have had a Lamborghini. They sold that for a BMW that looked good. Damn thing didn't work. And now they're starving, living in tents. Praying. So what? And what next? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do, Farrakhan? You told us to take reparations, so we did. But they gave us everything we asked for. What we gonna do, Farrakhan? What we gonna do? Pray, 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 pray. That's his answer. Pray, pray, pray. That's your reparations. Like Elijah Muhammad said, he had a big picture. We leaving, and blacks staying on the shore, the ones stay behind, and they was whooping their ass. Right? Because they all thought you think they would give you some land and take care of you? You think they want to do that? And go bankrupt, give everybody $1 million? You know how much that is? If it's 17 million, if it's 17 million times 17 million times a million is like $17 trillion, I think, something like that there. Then they're going to do all that for you. They want to get rid of you. So now they have succeeded. Because they closed the border. What you going to do? You want to fight to come out? They closed the border. They got the military around there. They finally got rid of you. No more black problem, no more Negro problem anymore. One group's out of here, another group that's here. They're gone, and our hands are clean. We gave them what they wanted. Well, anything. Okay. God honors contracts. Remember, he honored the contract with Jacob. Esau sold his birthright for a bowl of soup to Jacob, when it was Esau's inheritance, and God honored it. Okay, Jacob, it's yours. You're the one. And that's the deal. Because he ain't your friend. Farrakhan ain't your friend. Pray, pray, pray. That's the answer. And this homeland you was promised, you know, you rejected it. So now you got what you asked for. So if they gave you reparations today or tomorrow, how would that scenario not play out like that? Well, they say, okay, you got it. Tell me how the scenario wouldn't play out like that. And tell me why they wouldn't do it. They love you so much, they're going to say, okay, we're going to take care of them. I mean, why should they go out their way to take care of you when you was right here? You was working at Popeyes and then they get up on Section 8, all that stuff right here where they, because you know they're trying to get rid of that stuff right now. Trump's trying to get rid of all that stuff right now. Because they're closing on you don't realize it. Anyway, that's just, that's what's happening over in America. Wow. Boys, come here. Disaster over there. And, I just got a call. Oh, wait, hold it. Really? You serious? Our ambassador just got a call from I don't know what they call them. They call it Conland or something. I forgot what they some name to call it right there. That 6th day. They begged us to come and help. Can they come over here? Can we come and get them? Really? Can we come and get them and bring them? Oh no. Now he went and asked Master Farrakhan Muhammad, right? He said, no, hell no. We ain't going to get them. And I agree with that. Yeah, the bastard said he said, let's call him, and he passed the word to Master Muhammad. Master Muhammad said, send him back. Master, no, we can't come and get you. You chose, you made your choice, live with it. Or die, whatever the situation is. Wow. I can't believe that. They actually, right, sent a message over. I don't know how they did. I don't have any communication with it. Somehow they got the information over to him. Said, would we please come and get him? Nope. Said, no, tell him no. And don't waste time communicating with us anymore. You got your land, you got your reparations, you got your money, you got Farrakhan as your leader. Yeah, tell him, talk to him, let him straighten out for you. He didn't want to sell you the idea. He was a salesman. So you on that idea of reparations. We told you. Right? Suleiman, right? He was the messenger to you, telling you, look, man, let's go home. You said no. You chose not to. Okay, well, since that's a sad story. But I guess that's it. Is that it? Oh, if they might get any more reports on Okay, he says that was Master Prophet Muhammad's final decision, and I think they closed communications off from there. So, like I said, brothers and sisters, we got those guys that came in. All that came in today, man. Came in fast. After a whole year, total collapse. Now they're begging it. Somebody help them. We can't do it. Maybe Master help you. We won't do it. Assalamu alaikum. Update, brothers and sisters, got another late report in that they said, well, if you want to come and get us, well, we at least send them some food. They begged, said, please send them some food. Master Muhammad said, we got to send them a damn thing, nothing, zero. He said, please just send some food. No, I just got that in. He says, if you can't come and get us, please send us some food. He says, no. He refused. I said, boy, I just got the information from the ambassador. He said, they sent that, and he's ready to meet. He says, no. He said, please, just please send us some food. He said, no way. You made your choice, case closed. Okay, just got that in, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.